The following is yet another high school sports presentation brought to you by the high school sports leader in North Texas, 92.1 FM KXEZ, the Possum.
From Lyon Memorial Stadium in Ennis, a very pleasant good evening, everybody. The Royse City Bulldogs are on the air. Tonight, the Dogs take on the number one team in the state, the Ennis Lions, in the District 8 5A contest. Hi again, everybody. Scott Powell along with Ethan Herrera. Ethan Brooks, our studio engineer. Aiden Brocky, our statistician. We'd like to thank you for listening to another edition of Royse City Football here on 92.1 FM KXEZ, your radio home for the Royse City Bulldogs. And this is Countdown to Kickoff at 7:30. Well, if you look at your schedule, we were scheduled to play Sulphur Springs tonight, but the district administrators got together a few days ago and made some changes, and there are some major changes to the way the schedule will look the rest of the way and how things are going to operate. When we come back from this first break, we'll explain some of those changes that have taken place. You're listening to Royse City Football here on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Countdown to kickoff at 7:30 continues here on KXEZ. It's Royse City and Ennis tonight, and major changes have been made to this district. I'm going to try and summarize it quickly, but we will have David Petroff on at halftime, as well as Ennis Athletic Director Don Drake, and they will explain it further. I'm going to give you the basics. What they've done because of the COVID problems and the missed games, the teams in this District 8-5A have been zoned into two zones. They don't really have names for the zones. We'll call Royse City Zone A. And Zone A is Royse City, Forney, and Crandall. And Zone B, along with Ennis, by the way, if I didn't mention Ennis, that's the fourth team. So this is the opening zone game here tonight. In the other zone, it's Sulphur Springs, Greenville, North Forney, and Corsicana. The top two teams in each zone will make the playoffs. The seeding, well, we'll get into that a little bit more at halftime, how they'll be seeded. But you have to finish in the top two in your zone to qualify for the playoffs. As you know, 4 teams go to the playoffs, and then we'll explain positioning after that. Now, what do you do with the other games? Well, we'll get into that at halftime, but you can play your usual schedule up to 10 games. But outside of the zone games, which are 3 games with the teams in your zone, outside of that, if you want to play a couple more games, you have to make arrangements with the other teams in the other zone, and it might be teams that make the playoffs. It might be teams that don't make the playoffs, but probably don't make the playoffs will be the type of opponents to finish out the season. Anyway, those are the basics. We'll get into the details with the experts coming up at halftime. Let's take our next break. When we come back, we'll preview the opposition tonight, the Ennis Lions, and we'll also hear from Royse City head coach David Petroff. Royse City Bulldog football will continue after this. And we're back on Countdown to Kickoff at 7:30. One other thing to mention quickly, the next 2 opponents are different. Royse City will host Forney next Friday night, homecoming, which has been moved to next Friday. That'll be a 7:30 kickoff. And then after that, the next week, we'll host Crandall, also 7:30 that next Friday night. So that's what we know right now. More about it coming up at halftime. The Ennis Lions, pretty good history as they won a state championship back in 2014, lost in the state semifinals in 2013. They've made the playoffs the last 8 straight years. Reached the 4th round of the playoffs last year on their way to a 12-2 record. They've had winning seasons each of the last 8 years. Did struggle 2009, 10, and 11 with losing records. But as I mentioned, have been in the playoffs each of the last 8 years. And when you look at them offensively, well, first of all, let's mention how they have done so far this year on their schedule. They've beaten Red Oak 52-21, beaten Waxahachie 38-0, and Mansfield Summit 63-26. They are 3-0 undefeated, ranked number 1 in the state and number 2 in the area, and have outscored their opponents 153-47. That's an average of 53 points offensively, and they're only giving up 15 a game defensively. And Ethan, why don't you delve, Ethan Herrera coming in now, my partner, why don't you delve into some of the individuals and maybe some of those team numbers. They're very impressive, really, on both sides of the ball, but especially their offensive passing attack.
The offensive passing attack is exactly what propels this offense. Colin Drake, the senior quarterback, 44 for 67 at 66% completion percentage with 644 yards through the air, 7 touchdowns, and does have 1 interception on the year. He runs the ball a little bit, not as much as the other quarterbacks we've seen. 24 rushing attempts for 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. Does a lot of his work inside the 20 on the ground. And then you go in the backfield, De'Vion Johnson, the junior, 26 rushes for 255 yards, 4 TDs, and 7.8 per rush. And they have dual running backs, De'Vion Johnson and De'Vion Beasley, 28 carries for 204 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 7.3 yards per carry. They're a great attack out of the backfield, not to even mention their receivers.
Leyland Spencer, 24 for 259, one of the best in the Metroplex. Skyland Simmons, 17 for 164. And Caron Smith, 14 for 104. So they come at you with a lot of weapons. I love the balance. 243.3 on the ground, 243.7 through the air, almost exactly the same numbers running and throwing for a total offense of 487. They only give up 228 a game, 92 on the ground, 145 through the air. Let's hear what David Petroff, the Royse City head coach, has to say about the Ennis Lions.
Good program, really good program, very solid for a long time. How much has Sam Harrell had to do with that? Do you know Sam very well? And what do you see as the keys for them being so good for so long?
Well, Ennis was in our district when I was at Midway, and got to coach against Sam. Back then, I was defensive coordinator, and he was head coach, and they had an outstanding program. And those were some good battles with us and with Midway at that time in Ennis. And when Ennis got back in our district, the UIL redrew districts, and they were back in. Coach Harrell wasn't currently the head coach at that time. Their head coach took a job at Copper's Cove, and they brought Sam back. And Sam changed the offense up and got them back going again. Of course, Colin Drake, their quarterback, moved in as they hired the athletic director, his father, and he's an outstanding quarterback, and he makes everything go.
And let's continue on with that. Looks like they've also got some good receivers, very good offense. Have they always been kind of a passing team through the years, or they're just going with, or are they more of a passing team because of their personnel, as you mentioned, the move-in quarterback?
Well, through the years, if you're talking to just Coach Harrell's tenure, they're going to be pretty balanced. They do put up some numbers throwing the ball, but everything centers around stopping the run game. They're going to run the ball well, and that's the things that they like to do, which opens up a passing game for them. Even back, when we were at Midway, they were more of a run team, although they would put up some numbers throwing the ball, and they were solid that way. But they're a run-first team, and they have the outstanding number 7, Spencer. He's an outstanding receiver that they can make big plays, and they get yards in chunks, so to speak, in the passing game. And then, in the in-between, they were heavy dominant run, when Coach Harrell wasn't there.
What do you see as the keys based on what they do offensively? What are a couple of keys for your defense to be successful?
Well, we've got to have the correct mindset going into the ball game, number one, and make sure that we believe in ourselves. And, we come ready to play, which I believe we will. I believe in our kids, and I believe they have that mindset and that mentality. We're going in there, and we know they're the number one team, and we respect that. But we're coming to play, and that's just, it is what it is, and that's the way we've been. And doesn't matter if it's Ennis, Aledo, or whoever it may be. We're going to show up, we're going to play, and we're going to give it everything that we got. And that's our mindset, that's our mentality. For us to be successful, we got to stop the run. We got to slow them down. We got to limit big plays, and we got to make sure that we're swarming to the football and gang tackling, playing with lots of energy and aggressiveness.
Something tells me it's not all offense, being the number one team in the state. Where are they strong on defense?
They got an outstanding defensive line. Of course, they're very athletic in the back end. But the inside linebacker, number 2, he's a solid linebacker. But I think it starts with their D line. The D ends are pretty special.
And that is Royse City head coach David Petroff. Again, we'll hear more from him about the changes in the zoned off district coming up at halftime, as well as Ennis AD Don Drake. We'll get into all that at the halftime break. Let's talk a little bit about Royse City, Ethan Herrera. They have not played 2 of the last 3 weeks, as Greenville had to cancel on them due to COVID. And Wiley East 3 weeks ago had to cancel on. So they've only played once in the last 3 weeks. It was an impressive 41-28 win over Corsicana. In the non-district, they beat Frisco Centennial 55-38 and lost to White House 22-20. They're ranked number 16 in the area, unranked in the state, and 2-1 on the year. It's an offense that's done well, 38 points a game, 200 through the air on the average, 231 on the ground average, 7.8 a carry. They've given up some points and some yardage on defense, but very impressive offensively.
Yeah, it's led by the junior Joe Veracruz, and Veracruz just amazing, actually quite historical completion percentage, completing 75% of all of his passes, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions, QB rating of 147. He has been outstanding. The only thing that he needs to, and I'd like to see him do, is take a little bit more chances downfield. He doesn't do that a ton, hence the high completion percentage. But otherwise, other than that, they need to take over. The person who needs to take over this game is Champ Dozier. Dozier with 42 carries on the year for 370 yards and 3 touchdowns, and had all 3 games that they've played, he's rushed for over 100 yards. So on the ground, the offensive line does a great job, and Champ exploits that defense as well as he can. It's going to be a test against this great defensive line for Ennis.
And they got some good receivers, too, led by the all-everything Keytron Jackson, highly recruited.
Yeah, Keytron Jackson, 16 receptions, 211 yards, 3 touchdown passes, and 70.3 yards a game on 13.2 yards per reception. But that doesn't take away from the other receivers that have done great. I mean, Michael Alphin, 10 receptions for 180 yards, 18 per catch, and a touchdown, along of 65 in that opener. Sir Hill is somebody else you have to look out for, as well as the transfer. Both Hill and Neighbors, who transferred over this year, are 2 key people to look out for coming off, maybe not Jackson and Dozier.
Ennis, the home team, in their maroon jerseys, white pants with maroon helmets, white trim all the way around. Royse City in all white tonight on the road here in Ennis with the black trim. The officials tonight, the referee is Ronnie Mutina. The umpire is Greg Tuggle, the head linesman James Matthews, the line judge Jeff Hudman, and the back judge Dee Daniel. Just a beautiful night for football. Football players love this kind of weather, and it's not bad for the fans. 61 degrees. The high today was 66. The low will be around 40. Clear skies and mid-50s by the end of the game, maybe upper 40s. No wind, which is probably the most impressive thing of tonight. I mean, what you see is what you get. There is no wind chill, and it won't have any effect on this game, at least at this point. You can't ask for better conditions. The captains are at the center of the field. The coin toss getting ready to take place. So we'll see who gets the ball first. And by the way, it looks like we got a full moon. If not, it is almost full. Boy, I think that's a full moon. What's your opinion there, Ian?
That's definitely a full moon on the eve of Halloween. It's quite eerie to see that up there. It's nice, actually.
Let's take one more break. Back with a kickoff in a moment here on KXEZ.
Back here on 92.1 FM.
Specifically, did you?
Back here on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Here in Lion Memorial Stadium, and we're ready for kickoff now as Royse City is going to kick off to Ennis. Ennis won the toss. Royse City won the toss and deferred to the second half. So they'll kick off to Ennis, going right to left, and that'll be Mitchell Stokes set to kick things off from the 40. Like Scott said, beautiful, beautiful night for some football under the full moon here on October 30th. You hear some fans getting excited down there as well. Whistle blows. Stokes backs up, and it looks like they're setting up in an odd kickoff formation. And they're going to try for an onside kick to start the game. This one goes past the 50, down at around the 46-yard line, and that is where the Lions will take over. Colin Drake, the senior, leads this offense out on the field. Drake, 644 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, has an interception on the year, and Devion Beasley will be the back in the shotgun with him. Officially at the 47-yard line, going left to right on the left hash mark. Snap to Drake. He hands it off to Johnson. Johnson powers through. That was Beasley on the carry for a gain of 3 right at midfield, right in the middle of the Ennis E. Like we said, they like to throw the ball, but they are going to use this this run game. Johnson and Beasley out of the backfield for him is going to be key. They hand it off again to Beasley. Beasley off the tackle, breaks another tackle, makes a miss. That's the 40. Stop, juke inside the 30 and the 35. Marked down at the 33-yard line, and a big gain on second down.
Well, he got a great block downfield, but the key to the play was Dozier came racing in, and he missed him completely. He stepped inside Dozier and got big yardage.
Moving quickly, another handoff to Beasley inside the 20 now, down to the 16-yard line. Not even a minute off the board, and they've moved about 30 yards quickly.
And they go quickly, no huddle. They just line right back up and run the next play.
Quarterback keeper for Drake. He's got a blocker in the hole. In for the touchdown is Colin Drake. His third running touchdown of the year, and he puts up 6 points for the Lions here on the opening drive.
Yeah, it only took 3 plays to go 53 yards, and boy, they opened a nice hole over left guard there. Drake shows good quickness for a quarterback, and remember, he will run it. He's run it over 40 times this year, and he showed why right there with good quickness.
Andrew Aguilar on for the extra point. It's up and good, and a quick 7-0 lead the Ennis Lions have over the Royse City Bulldogs. You're listening to 92.1 FM at KXEZ.
And we are back. Don't forget, if you can't get us at 92.1 FM KXEZ, go to TuneIn Radio and YouTube, and you can hear us and watch us there. Just click on the app, and 92.1, you can hear us anywhere in the world. So tell those out-of-town family and friends about TuneIn Radio and YouTube for Royse City Bulldog football. Our sponsors tonight are North Texas Appliance, True Blue Heating and Air Conditioning, Belfiore Spa and Salon, Guarantee Bank and Trust, Joe Willie's, Arbolitas Mexican Grill, and Alumni Sports Bar and Grill, thanks to all of our sponsors tonight.
Kickoff for the Lions. Skies it out, fielded at about the 6-yard line. It's Damon Dozier, headed up past the 20 and stopped right at the 22. And that is where the opening drive for the Bulldogs will take over, led by the junior Joe Veracruz.
Great coverage there by Ennis. He catches at the 6, gets a good head of steam going, but then just runs into a wall. Obviously, when you're number one team in the state, you play good offense, you play good defense, and you're probably pretty good at special teams, as you just found out there. This is a complete football team, as we're finding out already.
The closest game they've played was a 31-point game in their opener for the season. Joe Veracruz in the shotgun. Play action, he looks downfield. Now he heaves one to Jackson, caught at the 50-yard line, but hit out of his hand. Great defensive play from Steven Townsend.
Yeah, Jackson had a step on a couple of defenders. I'll tell you, Veracruz threading the needle deep. I mean, that was well covered, but he was right on target. Slightly underthrew it, which allowed the defender to catch up and knock it away. But I love the play call. First play of the game. Let's go deep.
Why not take that chance? Here on 2nd and 10, Veracruz with Dozier in the backfield. And it is a handoff to Dozier off the tackle. Gain of a few yards down to the 29-yard line. And now a late flag comes in. see exactly what it is. Anything like that has to be unsportsmanlike conduct.
We got a couple of people on the field over there for Royse City. This is right around the line of scrimmage, kind of in the linebacker area, so this could be just about anything. Actually, it's nearer where the tackle was made at the 29. So, I mean, you could be talking face mask, illegal block, just about anything.
Really,
boy, I'll tell you, if this is the way this referee's going to move tonight, we're going to be here till midnight. I've never seen a slower moving referee in my life. Obviously, he hadn't missed very many meals, but I'm telling you, this guy is slow, and slower.
I'll tell you what, I haven't missed very many meals either, Scott, but I'm not that slow. Offsetting penalties is what the call was. I'm assuming it took him 10 seconds to walk towards us and tell us what the call was. From the right hash mark, Veracruz looks to his right now. It's a draw play to Dozier, but it's eaten up in the backfield. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage, if that, down to the 28-yard line, bringing up third down. Excuse me, fourth down.
Yeah, fourth down. I love the play call, really. A draw, handoff, your first possession. You still got the nerves. You're deep in your own territory, and run that delayed draw, and, boy, they sniffed it out nicely. One of the defensive linemen, Mark Graff, made a one-on-one spinning tackle, and Royse City's got to punt it away.
Not exactly the opening drive Coach Petroff wanted for his Bulldogs on a 3-and-out. Kick is blocked off of Neighbor's foot, fielded at the 27-yard line, and the Ennis Lions take over. It was Caden Hubbard who recovered it.
What did I say? Number one team in the state. They're probably good in a lot of categories. Well, they may be better at special teams than anything else from what we've seen so far. Yeah, he never had a chance, Neighbors, of getting that punt off. And, boy, Ennis has a chance to put some distance between themselves and Royse City or quickly. I'll tell you, I love it after a turnover like that to go deep over the middle with a pass. Let's see if they try it.
It was Eric Gonzalez with the block punt. And now this one's thrown out to the flat. Drake, and now wide open receiver makes a man miss, makes two men miss to the corner of the end zone, fighting. Does he get across the plane? He does. Touchdown Lions on the first play after that turnover. It was Leyland Spencer out there in the flat with just an open, naked screen. Ran upfield and caught the corner of the end zone.
Again, another elusive play by a big player on this team as he caught the ball one-on-one. You've got to get that open field tackle by the corner. He just put a move on the corner, stepped around it, made it look easy.
Extra point is up and good, and a quick 14-0 lead. The Lions have over the Bulldogs here on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. Back here on 92.1 FM at KXEZ, a quick 14-0 lead. Ennis Lions over the Royse City Bulldogs. And just quick strike ability, the turnover on, the block punt. Lions took over at the 27, and first play, naked screen out to Spencer down the left sideline, takes it all in for a touchdown. Second touchdown early in this first quarter. For Spencer, that was his third touchdown reception of the year. And Drake's eighth touchdown pass of the year. Aguilar will kick off and fielded by Damon Dozier past the 10-yard line. Ahead of steam across the 25, and they'll set it up at the 26.
Again, you described it just like the first one. There's enough room for the return man to get ahead of steam, and then he just runs into a wall. Excellent coverage one more time. You know, these are not the highest kicks in the world. This is just a team that covers kickoffs well.
We'll see what Coach Petroff draws up on this drive. Got to get something going because they score like this, the Lions, they can turn it into a blowout quickly.
Folks, they average 53 yards a game. They got 14, and we're not even at the midway point of the first quarter.
This one end around. Sweep from Jackson. Can't get over the side, and he's pushed back, maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
I like the play call on the end around, but they tried to run it to the short side of the field, and Ennis was not fooled whatsoever. Nice play initially by defensive lineman Darius Stokes, who went up and tried to almost look like a rodeo move, a high tackle up high, but he missed the tackle, but that slow Jackson down and the pursuit caught him.
Dual halfbacks for the Bulldogs now. Veracruz hands this one off to Neighbors, and Neighbors powers his way through for a gain of 4 on the play, bringing up 3rd and 6.
You know, they're doing pretty well on second down runs, but they're 0 for 2 on first down gains, and they've both been 2nd and 10s and leaving 3rd and tough conversion situations here on their first 2 possessions.
Again with the dual halfback set from right in the middle of the field on the 31-yard line. Handoff to Neighbors once again, makes a man miss, now rolls up field and does indeed get the first down. First down of the game for the Bulldogs.
Great vision there by the back, because Caden Hubbard, the outside linebacker on this side, he cut inside of Hubbard, made Hubbard look bad, and got the first down. They blocked it well otherwise.
This one handed off up the middle. Dozier for a gain of 2 yards on the play.
Well, there's your first down run of the night. I like the fact they're throwing it on first down, but if you throw an incompletion, it really puts your offense in a hole when you run it on second down. When you run it on first down, Ethan, you're almost tempted to or when you pass it on first down, you're almost tempted to keep throwing it.
We'll see if what they conjure up right here. 2nd and 8. Veracruz in the shotgun. Play action, a fake to Dozier, now a flip to Neighbors, and a shovel pass inside. And a big gain down to the 50-yard line goes Neighbors, and a first down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they're emptying that playbook early, down 14-0. I love the fact they're taking some chances here. Beautiful fake in the backfield to Dozier going left, and then almost a hidden handoff. It was hard to see, and a nice gain.
Veracruz, handoff again to Dozier. Dozier off to the right side after he faked left, gains 5 yards, now past the 45. Into Lion territory, down to the 43.
They're mixing it up nicely, emptying the playbook here, and Ennis is on their heels. They have no idea what's coming next.
Beautiful counter play, and they're moving quickly. Bulldogs from the 43, 2nd and 3. Veracruz in the shotgun. Dozier on his left, 2 receivers out to his left on the wide side. He throws this one down for Jackson. Jackson makes the catch, goes inside, got it at the 20. Now inside for the end zone for a touchdown. Beautiful pitch and catch, Veracruz to Jackson.
We got a flag in the end zone. I think they're going to get Tetron for celebrating. If you noticed, he was taunting the DB as he approached the end zone, looking back and kind of walking the dog, you might say. And I think they're going to get him for a 15-yard personal foul that's going to be assessed on the kickoff. Touchdown should be good if I'm right on this call. It's going to take the referee a while to tell us, unfortunately. Man, does he move slowly. There's your dead ball on Sportsman. It's going to be a taunting call, but at least they count the touchdown. Boy, David Petrov cannot be happy about that, because now they're going to have to kick off 15 yards further back. But what a great play. Great pass by Veracruz to split 2 defenders, and Jackson made the catch. They almost did that on the opening possession of the game.
Mitchell Stokes on for the extra point, and that one's blocked. Picked up at the 10-yard line and headed down the left sideline. One man to beat him, brought down close to midfield, and another blocked kick for the Lions on the extra point. And we'll stay at 14-6. Lions lead the Bulldogs on 92.1 FM KXEZ.
North Texas Appliance, a longtime sponsor here on KXEZ. It's where I bought my washer and dryer, refrigerator, freezer. I encourage you to do the same. It was a wonderful experience, from the friendly expertise of the in-house staff to the friendly delivery and installation. North Texas Appliance, Rockwall. I got my appliances there. Go get yours. They're open tomorrow and 6 days a week. And Joe Willie's Restaurant, home of the best build your own burgers in town. Yes, despite COVID-19, you can still build them. It's just done a little differently. The condiment bar is closed, but all you have to do is ask for your favorite sauces, lettuce, tomatoes, and so forth. They'll give you all you want. All you got to do is ask at Joe Willie's Restaurant in Rockwall.
After the touchdown and the 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty, the Bulldogs will kick off from the 25-yard line. Mitchell Stokes on to kick off. Karen Smith and Devion Johnson to receive for the Lions. 14-6 the score with 6:25 here in the first quarter.
2 minutes, 55 seconds on the drive, 6 plays, 74 yards, the final 43 on the touchdown pass.
This one kicked off, caught by Johnson at the 30. Now gets taken down at the 39-yard line. And that is where the Lions will set up shop for their third drive of the game.
Great coverage by Royse City. I mean, they were going to be in a hole anyway because of the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. It wasn't the deepest kick in the world, but they got great coverage and stopped them at the 39-yard line. That's about as good as you could have. If I had told you they would start at the 39, you would have taken it, I think.
Now let's see if the Lions can respond after that beautiful pitch and catch from Veracruz to Jackson. Drake in the backfield. In the shotgun, now at the play action, he'll keep it himself. Tries to go right up the gut and does. Gain of about 6 on the play, right down at the 45.
Boy, the holes have been huge. That one right guard, right tackle. Drake just on the straight quarterback keep and sets up a very nice 2nd and 3 situation here.
Devion Johnson in the backfield with Drake in the shotgun. 2 receivers stacked out to the right, 2 to the left. Play action, now throws it over the middle. He's got his man, Karon Smith. Karon Smith down past the 40. Inside Bulldog territory at the 32. The 36.
Nice little play action fake on the dive to the fullback that held the linebackers, and he drifted into that zone between the linebackers and the safeties, and he made it look easy. Drake with a perfect pass. Boy, they make it look so easy, don't they?
Yeah, Clayton Jenkins in the tight end. They hand it off to Johnson, and Johnson off the tackle to the left. Maybe a gain of a yard on the play, and a nice job from that front line for the Bulldogs to lower it out, to wrap that one up.
Nice patient run. Johnson's got good patience. There just really wasn't much there. He waited for something to open up, and it never really did. Although there was a little bit of a gap, but it closed in a hurry. Royse City starting to pick it up a little bit defensively here.
2nd and long. Drake in the shotgun with Johnson right next to him. He drops back, now rolls out to his right, throws the ball in the flat to Jenkins, and Jenkins stumbles his way and bowls over a couple of defenders past the 30 down to the 27-yard line, close to a first down.
By the way, if you see him run left quite a bit tonight, it's because their left tackle, Strawn, is 6'5", 300 pounds, and he looks a lot heavier than 300 pounds. He is a big young man. He towers over the rest of that offensive line.
I think they will call a timeout and measure this one, as this one is very close to the first down marker.
They needed the 27, I think. 27, yeah. It's close. Might be a little bit short.
Chain gang comes out.
Yeah, well, it is going to be a little short, isn't it?
So the officials say, and it is short indeed by inches. Maybe by the nose of the football. 4:50 left to go here in the first quarter. 14-6 is the score after 2 quick touchdowns from the Lions. And moving the ball pretty well on this drive as well.
0 for 1. This will be the second third down play tonight for Ennis, which shows you how good they've been so far. This is the second third down of the night to this point. And, you know, in this situation right here, although they do have 2 field goals with a long being 34, this is probably 4-down territory if it's 4th and 1 especially.
I would imagine. Now in the shotgun, Jenkins, the tight end on the right side. And they hand it off to Johnson. Johnson tries to get to the right side, and he won't get there. The defensive line for the Bulldogs comes up big, stops him behind the line of scrimmage for a 4th down.
Dominique Gadsden, the second leading tackler on this season, forces the issue from outside left and just would not be denied. I mean, he had a blocker hanging all over him, but he got just enough, pushed the pile back, and made the tackle for a loss. Loss of 1. Now you got your 4th and 1. Looks like they're going for it.
Devion Beasley in the backfield with Drake. Drake, quarterback keeper, powers his way across the line of scrimmage for a 1st down and then some. Down to the 20-yard line.
Boy, that's great blocking. 4th and 1. You know they're going to run it. They just run right over you for an easy 8 yards.
Lions try to go quickly, but a timeout comes flying in as Coach David Petroff calls it right before the snap comes in.
Why don't we keep it right here and remind you that 92.1 FM KXEZ is your Metroplex home for Texas A&M football and men's basketball. Don't forget the Aggies take the field tomorrow at 6:30 with the kickoff as they host Arkansas at Kyle Field. Our pregame an hour beforehand at 5:30. Texas A&M football right here on 92.1 FM KXEZ. 92.1 FM KXEZ and 95.3 KHYI The Range are deeply rooted and invested in North Texas. Thank you for listening and your support. If you'd like to be a sponsor of any high school sports here on KXEZ, give me a call at 972-251-0725. Again, that number, we'll give it to you periodically throughout the night, 972-251-0725. Very affordable, great way to reach your customer base. We'd love to talk to you about it. Just give us a call about being a sponsor of high school football here on KXEZ. And we'll have the Bulldogs, we'll have some basketball and some baseball also. So this is not just a football gig here doing the football games on Friday night.
So after the 1st down run from Drake, they'll take over the 20-yard line just at the red zone. Drake in the shotgun, play action to Johnson, heads this one downfield to the corner of the end zone, and incomplete.
Really good one-on-one coverage, and that's what forced the incompletion, although Drake threw it a little deeper than he probably wanted to. Even if Spencer was able to go up and come down with it, he probably would have been out of the end zone, but it would have been close. But give all the credit in the world to Hayden Adams. He's on an island over there, one-on-one, with one of the best receivers in the state, who, by the way, had the size advantage at 6 feet, 175.
4:03 here in the 1st quarter. 2nd and 10. Here comes the corner off the blitz. But they hand it off. Fake me out. As this one goes right up the gut and a big gain of almost 15 yards by Devion Beasley.
Huge hole right up the middle. Gain of 12 to be exact, Ethan. And it looked like it was going to go the distance. The hole was so big there weren't any linebackers home. And then out of nowhere came Damon Dozier. If he did not make the shoestring tackle, that's a quick 6.
1st and goal from the 8. They hand it off to Beasley, and Beasley gets hit behind the line of scrimmage and taken down. It's going to be a loss of 2 on the play, and a great play by Xavion Allen, who is one of the Bulldogs on that tackle.
Hayden Hayes was also there. So they tried to run the sweep around the right end into the short side of the field, and Royse City covered it well. 2nd and goal. Boy, they'd love to force a field goal try here after a 1st and goal at the 8.
From the right hash mark, going left to right from the 10-yard line. They fake the sweep, and it's Drake powering his way inside the 5 to the 3-yard line.
You know, you said it. They faked the jet sweep to number 9, Devion Beasley, going the other way. Drake keeps it. They're lucky that didn't go for 6.
3rd and 3. They hand it to Beasley, who finds a hole and crosses the plane into the end zone for the 3rd touchdown tonight for the Lions.
One man had a shot at him. That was Hayden Hayes, the defensive end on that right offensive side. Hayes was able to get a hand on him down low, but not enough to corral him and bring him down, and he got no help because the blocking was so good. That was a pretty easy touchdown and a pretty easy scoring drive.
Aguilar on for the extra point. Hold is good, up and in. It's 21-6. 2:48 left to go here in the 1st quarter. You're listening to 92.1 FM at KXEZ. 92.1 FM at KXEZ as this one's kicked off, fielded inside the 10-yard line. It's Damon Dozier who gets a nice block and past the 30 at the 31.
That scoring drive, 11 plays, 61 yards, 3:30 off the clock. Ennis so far on 2 possessions, they got 133 yards, 89 rushing, 44 passing, 6 first down, and the running back Dozier has 52 yards on 5 carries. So very impressive. The quarterback Drake throwing so far is 2 out of 4 for 44 yards. So who would have known? They're getting more of it done on the ground so far.
Beasley put together an impressive drive on that last drive.
Although, if you'll remember from the pregame, Ethan, they average within 0.5 of a yard between rushing and passing, well over 200 yards doing both.
A little pass up, dump pass. More of a shovel, out to Neighbors, who gains about 6 on the play.
In other words, what balance? 243.3 on the ground, 243.7 through the air for a total offense of 487. It doesn't get any more balanced than that, and they're showing it going up and down the field.
2nd and 4 from the 38, dual halfback set. Wide open on the right side is Alfin. Veracruz tosses this one out there, and Alfin gets across midfield to the 49-yard line, and a first down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, their first 2 passes of the night, they went deep to Jackson, almost completed both, got the second one for a touchdown on a long pass. But I like, you've got to balance that out with some short outs, and they showed that they can do it well on that last pass.
Dual halfback set once again. They hand this one off, and there's a flag on the other side of the field near the line of scrimmage.
Right at the snap of the ball. This could be procedure against Royse City as it was thrown by the head linesman. We'll see once the referee decides to tell us as he comes this way. Still walking this way. It takes him 10 seconds, folks, to walk toward us and tell us what the call is. A human rain delay. Offside against Ennis.
Nice break for the Bulldogs with 1:49 left to go here in the first quarter. 21-6, the Lions lead the Bulldogs. Still waiting for them to mark it off, as that was Sam Mitchum on that last carry.
Yeah, Royse City takes the walk-off because you had a nothing gain. So it'll be a 1st and 5 at the 44.
Dual halfback set once again. 2 receivers on either side of Veracruz. He pulls this one out, tosses it out to Jackson. Caught at the 43, tries to make a move, and that is where... And it's close to the first down. It is a first down.
Beautiful play action fake to Dozier. There is a penalty marker on the far side thrown by the head linesman. We may have offsides again against Ennis. Although it's enough for a first down, Royse City will just decline this. Well, they'd lose a yard by declining it, or by taking the 5-yard walk-off, they'd lose a yard. So it's going to be first down either way. So they will take the play, decline the penalty, and a new set of downs at the 38 after the 6-yard gain.
Kind of an RPO style of play right now for the Bulldogs, and Veracruz in the shotgun once again. Hands this one off to Mitchum. Mitchum off the tackle to the right side, across the 35 to the 34. And Sam Mitchum with his 2nd carry of the game. We don't see much of Mitchum until maybe late in the game. This is the first time we've seen him make significant carries in the first quarter. Another 2nd and medium. And they've been doing well on first down this drive. They'd like to keep it up, the Bulldogs.
That's a nice drive. Started back at the Bulldog 32. They've been moving the ball pretty well, just not as explosively as Ennis.
Veracruz hands this one off to Dozier. Dozier powers his way through for a gain of 3 on the play right at the 30-yard line.
Well, it looked like that was going to be a sweep to the right, but the short side of the field, there wasn't much available over there. Dozier, with, as David Petroff tells us on Monday morning, Dozier with great vision, recognized the situation, cut it up quickly over right tackle, and almost got the first down. Very manageable 3rd and 2 here, Ethan.
Going right to left from the 30-yard line. They hand it off to Neighbors, and Neighbors powers his way through, but there is a whistle blown.
Part of the Royse City success has been on 3rd down, as they're 2 out of 3 tonight, but this is going to march them back a little bit. and make this a much harder third down play. Although we're in 4-down territory, if they don't get it here on third, it's going to be a 5-yard procedure penalty.
I didn't see a flag on the play, and then it took, like you've been saying, it took the referee a couple minutes.
Oh, he spends 10 seconds walking this way. We can see him just fine. I think he wants everybody in the stadium to know who's in charge.
So I'll make it a 3rd and 7. They had the first down on that play, but the offside pushes them back 5. Veracruz in the shotgun. Play action. Throws it out to Neighbors in the flat. Neighbors goes upfield. Breaks a tackle inside the 20 down to the 15-yard line. Inside the 15 at the 13. And a big play on 3rd down to get the first down for the Dogs.
Well, the key was the blocking by the outside receivers, and Sir Hill got the key block, which freed him down the sideline, and that's going to do it for the first quarter.
And that is the end of the first quarter, 21-6, but the Bulldogs threatening. You're listening to 92.1 FM at KXEZ.
Don't forget, if you can't get us here at 92.1 FM, you can hear our games on TuneIn Radio and YouTube. Just tune in and click on the app, and you can hear our broadcast anywhere in the world. So tell the out-of-town family and friends about TuneIn Radio and YouTube, where you can hear the Bulldogs. Our sponsors tonight: North Texas Appliance, True Blue Heating and Air Conditioning, Belfiore Spa and Salon, Guarantee Bank and Trust, Joe Willie's Restaurant, Arbolitas Mexican Grill, and Alumni Sports Bar and Grill. Back to play.
Going from left to right now, Veracruz hands this one off to Dozier from the 14-yard line, gets inside the 10. They'll mark him down at the 8-yard line, and a nice gain on the first down. 21-6 the score. The Ennis Lions lead the Royse City Bulldogs here from Lion Memorial Stadium. Dual halfback set for the Bulldogs. Ball's thrown out to the corner for Jackson and tipped out of bounds, and a nice jump ball play. And the cornerback for the Lions, it was Jacoby Sterling.
Oh, it was a fade route. The DB over there, Jacoby Sterling, got away with a push. Now, it didn't have much to do with the play, but he pushed Jackson in the back and then kind of established position. It wasn't the best of throws, but you could have easily have called interference on that. The push just didn't have a whole lot to do with the result of the play. It looked worse than it was.
That'll bring up 3rd and 5 and a key third down this close to the goal line.
2 out of 3 so far for Royse City.
From the 9-yard line, they hand it off to Neighbors. Neighbors hit at the line of scrimmage and brought back. And just a swarm of Lions, a pride of Lions, if you will, at the line of scrimmage, takes them down to set up a 4th down and 5.
You did do your homework on the mascots tonight. The kicker, Stokes, has not kicked a field goal all year. Right here, it would be about a 25-yard attempt, but not a good angle for the right-footed Stokes as it's on the left hash. Remember that. You got to push it a little bit to the right, which is not natural for a kicker. But we'll see what happens. It's short enough to where he should be able to make this without any problem. Ball squarely on the 15.
We've definitely seen Stokes in the pregame knock down long field goals. He's yet to showcase that leg off. And there'll be a timeout on the field as Coach David Petroff wants to talk this one over.
Let's keep it right here, Ethan. And I want to talk about North Texas Appliance. Go see those friendly folks at North Texas Appliance in Rockwall. They're at 1535 East I-30. That's the South Service Road, about a mile from the football stadium. You can go by or call 972-771-0393. North Texas Appliance, a long-time sponsor of high school athletics here on KXEZ. And Joe Willie's Restaurant, named after former NFL great Joe Willie Namath, a longtime sponsor here on KXEZ. They're at 2006 South Goliad, Suite 200 in Rockwall. Go by there or call 972-772-9432. Best burgers, chicken sandwiches, salads, ice cream, cookies, best in town. You can get it at Joe Willie's in Rockwall.
Bulldogs set. Mitchell Stokes set. Try this extra field goal. The kick is up, and it is good. 3 points on the board for the Dogs. Mitchell Stokes knocks in his first field goal attempt of the year. That's 21-6 here on 21-9 on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Here on 92.1 FM at KXEZ, there was a penalty on that play. Offsides by the Lions, and that'll bring up a 4th and 4 for the Bulldogs, and a huge break and a big time play coming up, big time drive.
It gives them a first down, I believe, Ethan.
It does.
Yeah. It is a 1st and goal. That's the hugeness. You know, they would have gone for it anyway, probably if it was only a yard, but it gives them a 1st and goal at the 4.
Veracruz in the shotgun. He rolls out to his left, looking for a receiver. Now tucks it, runs for the corner, and he's down at the 1 yard line, and a flag comes flying in right at the end of that tackle.
Yeah, the head linesman, Greg Tuggle, put that flag on quite a flight as he flipped it way high in the air, almost out of anger as high as he flipped that flag. And, boy, this has a late hit or something written all over it because of the lateness that he threw this flag. Let's see. This could be a dead ball of some kind. It could be live, and he just didn't get it thrown early enough. It is dead ball, unsportsman against Ennis. So it's going to be about a half-yard penalty because he was down at the 1. You don't see a lot of half-yard penalties. But it will give him a 1st and goal at the 1 instead of a 2nd and goal. That's one positive of the penalty.
They give him an extra down to work with. Dual halfback set for Veracruz and the Bulldogs. They hand it off to Hill, and Hill, I'm waiting for the call down near the goal line.
Royse City thinks they've got it. Ennis says no, and Ennis wins the argument.
They are down right before the goal line, just short, maybe the half-yard line. And the Bulldogs moving quickly. We've got a jumbo set, and Veracruz tries the quarterback keeper, and he's in. Joe Veracruz powers his way across the goal line. And it's 6 for the Dogs, and flags come flying in after the play. They ruled touchdown on the field, but little extracurricular in the end zone. Referees coming together, talking it out. For now, it is 21-12 on that 1 yard run by Joe Veracruz. Still waiting for a call. And here's the referee coming out. Dead ball foul and unsportsmanlike conduct on the Bulldogs. Another penalty on a scoring play for the Bulldogs.
Veracruz off to a good start tonight. He's been 5 out of 7 for 89 yards passing. You know, he's a 70% passer anyway in the first 3 games. Then he's continued his hot streak of very accurate passing.
That quarterback sneak was his first rushing touchdown of the year.
Royse City now has the lead in total yards at 144. I'm impressed with their offense. They're kind of doing whatever they want to. They just can't stop Ennis at this point.
Ball on the ground after a bad snap. And that'll make it another special team play by the Lions. Makes it stay here at 21-12 with 10:05 left to go here in the second half. You're listening to 92.1 FM KXEZ. Here on 92.1 FM at KXEZ, the Lions lead the Royse City Bulldogs 21-12, but the Bulldogs do score and put up 6 on a quarterback sneak, the 1 yard run by Joe Veracruz, his first rushing touchdown of the season. Royse City moved the ball extremely well on that drive, but the penalty pushes them back 15 yards on the kickoff.
10 plays, 68 yards. They used 4.5 minutes. So why is that significant? You want to keep that Ennis offense off the field as much as you can. So they held the ball for 4.5 minutes to go 10 plays, 68 yards. That's very encouraging. In other words, they were able to ground it out, both rushing and passing. I love the play calling. I mean, they're mixing it up nicely. Came out throwing on first down. And it's not necessarily getting points every possession. It's keeping the Ennis offense off the field, because they have shown tonight that there's not much slowing them down when they have the football.
That is the absolute biggest key to keep that dangerous offense off the field. This one, a pooch kick from Stokes, bounces at the 42-yard line and picked up by Karan Smith. He's across midfield, got a block, and out of bounds past the 40 into Bulldog territory at the 37.
Boy, these stupid, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on Royse City. You think Coach Petroff might be a little excitable at halftime in that locker room? I mean, these are just unforced errors. They're handing in an excellent field position, and mostly because of an unsportsmanlike 15-yard penalty. Second time tonight they've had to kick off 15 yards further back.
And they will start inside Bulldog territory as Colin Drake sets up behind center.
Ennis offense doesn't need any help, and Royse City's helping them out quite a bit with stupid plays.
Trips out to the right, and it's a halfback toss out to Johnson. Johnson gets a block, gets crossed. Everybody inside the 10-5 touchdown for the Ennis Lions on the first play of the drive.
Boy, David Petroff wants holding. Let me tell you what happened. One of the receivers downfield, number 1, Karan Smith, was blocking Dozier way downfield. That was the last chance Dozier was to make the tackle. And Karan Smith not only finished the block, but backed off and held his hands up. He was afraid he was going to get flagged for holding. The flag never came, so Coach Petroff was going after that head linesman over it, and, of course, they're not going to change the call. So it looks like Ennis got away with one there. Wait, now we do have a penalty. Well, how late is this?
The penalty flag came in after he crossed the line, the end zone.
I think it was, unsportsmanlike. It's after the play. It's the 55 offense, so that's not the guy who held. It's, a personal foul?
Personal foul called on Christian Benavides.
These officials are doing all they can to keep the peace out there. They must be thinking this is going to kind of get out of hand if they're not careful, because how many personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conduct penalties have we had already here in the first half?
And you hear the fans are not happy about that.
And now the Ennis coaches want a word to hear what's going on. I mean, this is very unusual, especially early in a game. Sometimes you'll see these kind of calls late in the game when the frustrations take over. And these officials are real concerned with the little things.
I'm really not sure how this is adding up. It looks like the ball's going to be spotted at the 45.
Well, I think they just realized their mistake. I think Ennis pointed it out that they marked off too much penalty yardage, and they're going to come forward 5 yards. It should be 15, and where they're putting it down now is a 15-yard walk-off to the 47 of Ennis. They did mark off 20 yards accidentally.
Mm-hmm. So now that is where the Lions will start their drive after a nice run by Devion Johnson.
There's a lot of things going on that don't exactly exude confidence in the Zebras tonight.
Trips out to the left. They hand this one off to Karan Smith on the screen. He makes a man miss across the 40 deep into Bulldog territory, and this is very close to the first down marker.
Another example of a superior athlete getting a lot of extra yardage when he should have been down back around the line of scrimmage. He put a move on number 56, Funsova, and he left some underwear out there.
Going quickly, Devion Beasley. And from the 2nd and 1 play, scores from the 29-yard line. Just a simple handoff, and he found the hole, made a couple of people miss, and found the end zone once again.
Well, these guys are tough to stop one-on-one in the open field. They are making defenders miss, and they're making them look bad also. You've got to gang tackle these guys to have a chance. One-on-one, Royse City doesn't have much of a chance.
Angel Aguilar on for the extra point try. It's up and good. 28-12 to score with 9:16 to go here in the first half. You're listening to 92.1 FM, KXEZ.
Don't forget, coming up on our halftime show, we'll have a live interview with the Ennis Athletic Director, Don Drake, who also is the father of Ennis quarterback Colin Drake. And we'll talk about COVID and what it's like being an athletic director nowadays during COVID times and all these changes that the district made in the last 10 to 14 days and the way it's gone zoned. We'll talk about all that with Don Drake. We'll also hear David Petrov's opinions of the new changes to the district on an interview we had with him a few days ago. So stay tuned for that. We'll also have scores from around the area. We'll look at some of the polls, and we'll have all of the first half stats with Aiden Brocky, and we'll do a little fly on the wall between Ethan and I. So stay tuned for our halftime show.
Kickoff is fielded at the 3-yard line by Dozier. And spun past the 15. There's a flag over there by the 15 on the short side of the field.
I'm kind of guessing, but it's an educated guess. I'm thinking there might be a face mask here, but I'm thinking somebody might have grabbed his face mask on the return, but also it could be an illegal block. That's why I say it that way.
Waiting for the officials to get together and talk about the call.
And by the way, once again, great coverage. The Ennis kickoff team is really good at what they do. These are not the highest, deepest kicks in the world, but they get downfield so quickly. The returns have been short all night long, and it is against Royse City. So back them up even further.
This will be the worst starting field position for the Bulldogs tonight as they start at the 7-yard line.
Funny you bring that up. They've started at their own 23, their own 26, their own 32. You know, it hadn't been all that great, but it's much worse than it has been, as you said.
Veracruz in the shotgun, fumbles the snap and just falls down on it. Not sure if it was a play action or he was trying to hand it off to Dozier, but mishandled, and he just falls on it, and it'll be a loss of 5 on the play, pushing them back to the 3-yard line.
Royse City down to 1 timeout. That could be critical here late in the first half, although right now we're just at the 1/3 mark of the second quarter.
Veracruz on a quick slant. Looked like it was in and out of the hands of Jackson, maybe thrown a little bit behind him. But either way, it'll bring up 3rd down.
Not a perfect pass. Veracruz with that good arm trying to thread the needle, and he threw it just enough behind where it made it a much tougher catch, and Jackson could not hold up.
Review the play call is here on 3rd and 15, backed up on their 3-yard line.
Something tells me it's going to be conservative at the 3, maybe one of those draws.
Flex receivers. Now Veracruz, the ball is out after Veracruz went down.
By the way, if you get called for intentional grounding in your end zone, it's a safety. I'm shocked there's not a penalty marker as he just shoveled that ball forward to get rid of it. I don't know. Would you have called that intentional grounding there?
From my angle, it looked like it was knocked out somehow.
Now they drop the flag. The referee consults with the line judge, and they agree, let's call intentional grounding. So I guess you're allowed to call it any time you want to. It was a good 20 to 30 seconds after the play had ended.
And that'll result in a safety.
Yeah, so that'll make the score, 30 to 12.
30 to 12 here with 8:23 left to go here in the first half. And we'll see the kickoff punt after this break here on 92.1 FM KXEZ.
Don't forget, 92.1 FM KXEZ is your Metroplex home for Texas A&M men's football and basketball. Tomorrow, the Aggies play host to Arkansas. 6:30 kickoff. Our pregame starts at 5:30 right here on 92.1 FM KXEZ. KXEZ and 95.3 KHYI The Range are deeply rooted and invested in North Texas. Thanks for listening and your support. Call that number, 972-251-0725, to be a sponsor. Again, 972-251-0725. We'd love to hear from you.
Neighbors with the punt, fielded at the 30-yard line. Flags come flying in, but a great return past the 40-yard line into Bulldog territory. Flag down over at the Lion 48.
Boy, the field position has killed Royse City all night. A couple of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties that pushed them back on the kickoff, and the average field position has been unbelievable. Although Royse City is going to get a break here, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty on the return. But listen to where Ennis has started their drives. Their own 47, the Royse City 27, their own 39, and the Royse City 37. And here they will start at their own 38 only because of a 15-yard penalty.
Penalty marked off at the spot of the foul. And that's where Colin Drake and the Lions will take over. Going right to left from the left hash mark. Trips out to the left side. The back, Devion Johnson in the backfield with Drake. Shotgun and a shovel, pitch out to the left side to Johnson. Johnson gets past everybody across midfield, across the 45 and down. They'll mark him down, it looks like, at the 42-yard line in Bulldog territory, just like that in the first down.
Johnson with great speed, takes the handoff. He gets it to the outside thanks to the great blocking, and then he just races down this near sideline before anybody touched him. Really good speed.
Trips out to the right side, play action, off to, his receiver, Spencer, who goes down to the 34.
They had to run that more often. The cushion that Xavier Allen gave him was huge. Gave him 5 yards to catch the ball, turn, and run with it. Allen's got to close better than that if you're going to give him that big of a cushion.
2nd and 2 from the 34. Drake hands this one off to Johnson. Johnson goes right up the middle, crosses the 25 and down to the 23. Davion Johnson putting together a nice drive. Moving quickly are the Lions. 2 receivers out to the right of Drake. Drake looks left. Nobody there as he was looking for his receiver, Spencer. Miscommunication, threw it to nobody wide open in the end zone.
They had 2 receivers over there, and I think it was Spencer, the intended target, and he just stopped his route short downfield, and the pass went into the end zone, and DB Xavier Allen almost had him in interception. He just couldn't catch up with it. He was as surprised as Spencer on where the ball was thrown.
That bring up 2nd and 10, 7:23 left to go in the first half, 30-12. The Lions over the Bulldogs. Drake, play action, throws this one over the middle. He's got Spencer. Spencer caught it at the 8 and pulls his way for a few extra yards down to the 7.
Those crossing routes have worked all night because they run them off of play action, fake it into the line, and then the receiver cuts it across behind the linebackers, and Spencer wide open on the crossing route.
And this one off to Johnson, and Johnson walks his way across the goal line for another touchdown.
I love the call there. If we could get rid of the horn, I'd love it even more. But Johnson and Johnson is what you said. Sounds like a company there. Sounds like a commercial there for Johnson and Johnson.
Another 6 points for the Lions here at the 7:05 mark. Makes it 36-12.
It only took them 6 plays to go 62.
Bad snap and mishandled by the holder, and the Bulldogs pick it up. And 36-12, the score will remain.
You know, I'd like to make a comment here. I think both of these teams could use a little bit of practice on special teams and snapping on field goals and extra points. And, you know, as good as Ennis is on special teams, these 2 teams need a lot of practice in these departments.
It's been absolutely sloppy on both ends.
It's been horrible. We've had, 3 blocked kicks and
3 blocked and
two drop snaps. out of extra point territory. It's been horrible.
It's been a very sloppy game all in all, with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on both sides, the mishandled snaps, the block kicks.
Let's give you some numbers for Ennis. 139 total yards. This is Royse City. 139 total yards, 50 on the ground, 89 through the air. They have, I'm looking for first downs here, as they have 8 first downs, 5 penalties for 45 yards. A lot of those are dead ball yards on those penalties. On third down, they're now 2 for 5 after starting 2 for 3. Leading rusher Dozier has 22 yards on just 6 carries. Neighbors with 23 yards on just 4 carries, so his average a little nicer. Veracruz throwing it 5 out of 9 for 89 yards, no interceptions, and no, he did have a 41-yard touchdown pass to Jackson. We'll give you Ennis after the kickoff.
This one, a low line drive kick. It hits down at the 20-yard line and out of bounds, and a smart play by Hill to let that one go out of bounds.
Ennis winning the battle of the yardage. They got 236 total, 156 of that on the ground and 80 through the air. They've been penalized, Ennis, 6 times for 65 yards. By the way, Aiden will bring you a complete stat report about midway through our halftime show. Some of the other numbers, they've only had 2 third-down plays. Ennis has. They're 1 out of 2. That's a little unusual. But then again, they got 36 points, so maybe not that unusual. Beasley, the running back, has 81 yards on just 6 carries. Touchdowns of 3 and 29 yards. That's the highlight there. Now, passing, Drake is 5 out of 8 for 80 yards, no interceptions, and 1 touchdown of 27 yards. There's some of your highlight numbers, Ethan.
Veracruz in the shotgun, takes a snap out and throws it out to his receiver, Alphin, who gains about half a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd and long. (36-12) to score. Ennis over Royse City.
Ennis all 3 of their timeouts. Royse City's already used 2 of their 3, 6.5 minutes and counting. So Ennis has plenty of time here, or Royse City Ennis will have plenty of time when they get the ball back.
They hand this off to Dozier, and he goes around everybody close to the first down marker at the 40, and marked out, it looks like, at the 43-yard line, and a nice run for Champ Dozier.
Let me tell you how you know you ran a sweep play well. First of all, it was the wide side of the field. He never even turned it up. He just ran out of bounds kind of sideways, but he got 12 yards before he even had a chance to turn it up. That's blocking on the sweep.
Dual halfback set, handoff to Neighbors, and Neighbors bowls his way over down to the 46-yard line for a gain of 3.
So anyway, for Royse City, a little over 6 minutes, even though they just have the 1 timeout. They got plenty of time to ground this out, and they really need some points before the half here, Ethan, down 36-12, and give their defense a little chance to rest and keep that Ennis offense off the field.
In the shotgun, 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Veracruz has a man deep. It's Jackson, caught it at the 30-yard line, inside the 20, no one in front of him. And a quick pass and a quick strike. Ketron Jackson with a touchdown reception, puts up 6 for the Dogs.
Looks like he was turning, and I was afraid a taunt was coming, but he did not get a penalty at all, and it will count as a 57-yard passing catch. Great play action. It was a real quick play action. He faked a really quick dive to the fullback and pulled up and threw it almost in the same motion as the fake to the fullback. In other words, caught everybody off guard. Jackson just streaked by the cornerback.
2-point try. This one batted down at the line of scrimmage, but 6 points go up for the Bulldogs. It's 36-18 here on 92.1 FM, KXEZ.
As we look at some of the numbers, Ketron Jackson, we're waiting for official word from the officials. It looks like some kind of a dead ball. That's their favorite time to throw a flag, by the way, after the play is over. It's another unsportsmanlike conduct against Royse City, and I'll bet you it's on Jackson, guys, because it looked like, again, he was celebrating on the way to the end zone, which he was already flagged earlier for. Coach David Petroff cannot be happy with that.
They went for 2 and missed it. Batted down the line of scrimmage at the 5:45 mark here in the second quarter.
Jackson with 3 catches for 103 yards and touchdowns of 43 and 54. First one, he split a couple of defenders. It was a tough catch, but he taunted the DB on the way to the end zone. The second one looked like he might have turned around, but it wasn't nearly as obvious of a taunt or, messing with the defender like the first one was. But that might be why they called the unsportsmanlike conduct again on Jackson.
I'm not really sure exactly like you said, but that is a very good point and very probable at that.
He tends to, when he breaks free on plays like that, he tends to kind of turn around.
It was an obvious taunt on the first one. That one I'm not so sure, and that may not even be what they flagged them for, Jackson's touchdown.
Stokes on for the kickoff.
Ennis now with a lot of time and 3 timeouts. They got 5:45 on the clock. Of course, they don't need much time as quickly as they can score.
For Jackson, that was his 5th touchdown reception, onside kick try, and it's close. Ball battled around. It's still on the ground, and now they whistle it dead, and the Lions will take over at the 40-yard line.
Royse City almost had that as it bounded off of an Ennis return man, and they almost fell on it as a maroon shirt just barely beat the Bulldog to the ball and recovered.
Officially down to the 39-yard line in Lion territory. Let's see if this Bulldog defense can do anything to stop this ground game for the Lions.
There haven't been many stops tonight. I'm thinking 1 at the most.
Trips out to the left. Drake. Quick pass out in the flat. He's got his man across the 50-yard line and still moving. Skyland Simmons down into Bulldog territory in a quick strike past the 40 down at the 38. Skyland Simmons, his first reception of the game. And a big play on first down. Going right to left on the right hash mark. Drake in the shotgun. Play action. Looks for his man downfield. Now scrambles out to his right. Finds Simmons once again. Caught at the 38. Spins out of a tackle. And down right near the 33-yard line.
Great coverage initially by the Royse City defense as Drake on the play action looked left. He had a couple of receivers, nobody open, but unfortunately he had plenty of time to survey the field, looked over to his right, and threw it off to the safety valve. But, again, all the credit to the Royse City secondary there. But they need to get a little more of a pass rush, though.
The Lions are trying to go quickly, and now a flag comes flying in, and it looks like it'll be a false start on the Lions. And it is.
They can take away the 5 they just got on first down. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Nice break for the Bulldogs. They'll pick it up again at a 38. As it's Drake in the backfield. In shotgun. 2 receivers out to his right, 2 to his left. Play action. Looks across the middle of the field, and it's dipped. Beautiful play made by the linebacker, Blake Buman. Hits that slant pass that was going across the field, slants it down, pats it down, bringing up 3rd and long. Big play here on 3rd and long. Bulldogs trying to stop this Ennis offense. Drake, now it's a quarterback draw. He's got some blockers. Hit before the line of scrimmage. It's Buman once again. That'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, they run that play so well, but Buman sniffed it out and made the open field tackle. Yeah, it's not just 4th and 1 here. It's 4th and 4 at the 32. They're no-man plan. They've got to go for this, or the punt is so short. I mean, this is going to be a tough play for Ennis to convert. I wouldn't be surprised if they took a timeout here. In fact, it looks like they're going to let that play clock drain down, and then they'll take it right before it runs out. And they've got 3 to use, so they'll still have 2 left and 3:40 on the clock.
A nice defensive stand for the Bulldogs. And now the timeout is taken with 3:38 left to go on the clock.
Again, their kicker is 2 for 2, but nothing real impressive with that. As I'll have that for you here in a second. I think his longest is somewhere in the 30s on his kick. Yeah, I've got it here. Longest field goal of the year is 34 yards, and he's 2 out of 2. Now, that doesn't mean he doesn't have a better leg, but he's only been forced to kick a 34-yarder. And here's a stat for you that may come into play. Do you know that Ennis has only had to punt the ball 1 time all year?
I did see that, yeah.
Does that sound like a team that averages 53 points a game?
Absolutely ridiculous.
1 punt all year.
When you
not
see something like that, the first thing you think is misprint.
I had a double take at it. It was pretty crazy to see. Colin Drake was actually the one who punted it, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was a quick hit. And now 4th down out of the timeout.
And by the way, that was only their third down play of the night, which they just failed on, setting up 4th down. This team converts 60% of the time on 4th down, 5 out of 8 coming in.
Probably the biggest play of the first half for the Bulldogs coming up. 4th and 4 from the 32-yard line, going right to left. Whistles come flying in and a timeout by the Lions.
Why don't we take a quick 30-second timeout? Back in 30 here on KXEZ. Again, coming up in half, we'll have the athletic director here at Ennis High School, Don Drake, the father of the quarterback, Colin Drake. We'll talk about that and the COVID situation and the changes this district has made. We'll explain it all to you and the reasoning behind it coming up at halftime. We'll also get David Petrov's thoughts on the changes in the district. We'll also look at scores around the area and first half stats coming up at halftime.
2 receivers on either side of Drake. He completes this one to Spencer across the first down line at the 25-yard line, and a quick slant gets them the first down.
Boy, he barely got that off because as he threw it, he got drilled in the face by Caleb Robb, but stood tall, made the completion, and they moved the chains. The drive is alive.
Another quick play out to Leyland Spencer, caught at the 18 and dragged down to the 16. Leyland Spencer's put together a nice game.
Well, he usually does. He's a heck of a player. Came in with 24 for 259, averaging 18.5 a catch.
Right now, sitting with 65 receiving yards and a touchdown. Trips out to the right side. Ball on the left hash mark, going right to left. Hand off to Johnson. Beasley, and this one bowling all the way down close to the goal line. And they'll mark him just short at the 1-yard line.
Great run by Beasley as he weaved his way through the secondary. Here they go quickly.
Hand off to Beasley once again, right up the gut, and he's in. Touchdown, Ennis Lions with 2:34 left to go here in the first half. For Beasley, that was his 3rd touchdown of the game. And on for the extra point try is Aguilar.
Beasley with 102 yards rushing here with 2 minutes left in the first half.
And whistles blow again. And I tell you what, every extra point try is an adventure tonight.
I think we've only had one good snap and one good kick. Maybe 2.
There is an injured Bulldog down, sitting right down at the goal line as trainers come walking in to check him out. I think that's what the whistles came in for. Beasley's had a brilliant game, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Ennis with 13 first downs on 305 total yards for the game. Just absolutely brilliant.
2-minute, 51-second drive to go 6 plays, 61 yards.
Colin Drake, 9 for 13 on the night.
The injured Bulldog, that's Buman. Boy, it doesn't look serious, and you better hope it isn't serious. He's their best tackler by far.
Now here's the extra point try. Aguilar puts this one up and through, making it 43-18 with 2:34 left to go here in the first half.
Buman with just a slight limp to go off the field. I would expect he'd be back.
43-18 here on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. Here on 92.1 FM, KXEZ, the Ennis Lions lead the Royse City Bulldogs 43-18 for a 1-yard run by Devion Beasley. Aguilar set to kick off for the Lions. And a fair catch made inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. Made by Sir Hill. And that is where, the fair catch now, the ruling is they'll spot it at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's the rule. If you call it fair catch, I think you get it at the 20. Royse City with 2:34 and 1 timeout. Ennis with 1 timeout left. I think they're going to be fairly conservative. By the way, it's the 25, not the 20. I think they'll be fairly conservative. Maybe run a running play here, see if you can get some yardage out of it, and that would kind of set up what you want to do after that. Ennis with only 1 timeout, they really don't have much opportunity to stop them and get it back here.
Dual halfback set for the Bulldogs. Veracruz in the shotgun. Handing it off to Neighbors. Neighbors cuts it up the field. Gains about 4 on the play, make it 5 down to the 30-yard line.
So far, neither team taking a timeout. Royse City looking to the sideline as we're at 2:15 and counting. They're in a little bit of hurry-up mode, but not extreme hurry-up. Really, they're taking a lot of time here getting the play in.
Neighbors lines up as the tight end. Jonah Robertson in the game as the dual halfback. To Veracruz's right. They hand it off to Robertson. He gets past the line of scrimmage, past the defensive line, and down at the 10. The 40-yard line for a gain of 10.
Great job by Robertson to cut that up because you're running kind of a sweep to the short side of the field. So he cuts it up so he can gain extra yards before he goes out of bounds.
Officially,
if he had gone wide.
Officially at the 41-yard line with 1:35 and counting.
Now I think they're interested in getting some points out of this possession.
Empty backfield, trips out to the right, 2 receivers to the left of Veracruz. In the shotgun, quick slant out to Alphen. Alphen hit hard at the 45-yard line, and that's where they'll spot it. Man, he had an open man and Neighbors down the right sideline, but missed him. Didn't see him.
Yeah, part of the reason that Alpha got covered so quickly, tackled so quickly, is they left Neighbors alone and went for Alpha.
Now approaching a minute left to go.
They're taking a lot of time getting the play in, although quicker this time as we're under a minute.
Trips out to the left on the far side from the right hash mark. Quick play out to Robertson, caught at the 48, trying to get past the tacklers, but is taken down at the 48.
Ennis is kind of letting them have those short ones. That was just a curl route, that just enough for the first down. Another perfect pass from Veracruz. Now they go real quickly with 41 seconds and 1 timeout. The clock is running.
Jackson in the slot now, empty backfield for Veracruz and the Bulldogs. 30 seconds on the clock here. Veracruz throws the slant to Jackson. Jackson gets taken down past the 40 at the 36-yard line.
Boy, they could have used an extra yard out of that, stop the clock while they move the chains. Unfortunately, they only got 9, so they're going to have to burn that final timeout. Now you got to be really careful with 22 seconds. You may get a field goal attempt out of this eventually, which is kind of scary considering how bad the snaps have been on both sides.
22 seconds left, 43-18, Ennis over Royse City. I mean, what do you do right here, Scott? Do you run one play and then get the field goal on quickly?
Right now it would be a 54-yard attempt, so I'd be playing field goal. In other words, if they're going to give you the 10-yard curl, I'd take it, line up, and spike the ball. If you can get it out to near the sideline, obviously that would be advantageous, but there's a reason why these receivers are open between the numbers. I think Ennis is squeezing the sideline.
This is just outside of Mitchell Stokes' range that we've seen in pregame. Now, we haven't seen him try to do it in the game, but pregame he's taking those directly from the 35.
Remember, it's a perfect night for football, completely still. The flags are not moving, so it ain't going to hurt him on the kick, but it's also not going to help him any. Here we go.
Dual halfback set. Joe Veracruz in the shotgun. 2 receivers on their short side. They hand it off to Neighbors, and Neighbors bowls his way over, gets the first down. Clock stops for just a moment, and they hurry up.
Interesting, they go left to the left hash mark, which makes it a tougher kick if they stay over there.
Clock's rolling. Veracruz throws it over the middle. He's got Neighbors. Neighbors down inside the 15, and they got to hurry up.
Yeah, you got to line up and spike it. They haven't started the clock yet. We're at 7. They're going to start it any second now. They're just trying to get the chains and the ball set. So it's giving Royse City a little extra time. And here come the flags. What do we got? Some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct? Were they trying to stall there or something, Ethan?
I have no idea what just happened, but
I think there may have been some kind of delay tactic by Royse City, unfortunately. We'll see what the officials say.
I saw a Bulldog jump over the line of scrimmage before anybody was set. and hit one of the.
Well, they never started the clock, so the play was never officially whistled to go. So don't worry about jumping over the line of scrimmage. It's what occurred, and there may have been some delay tactic, unfortunately. The officials are holding off the Ennis players, so David Petroff is getting an explanation from the referee. We still have no signal of what's going on here.
Although every official's flag is on the green right now.
By the way, it's at the 10-yard line, which would make it a 20. Well, no, they're going to put it down, it appears, at the 14, which would make it. I'm just telling you where the chains are. I don't even think they know where to put the ball down either right now, to be honest with you.
This game has been all sorts of crazy in terms of officiating.
It all starts with the stripes.
And now, after talking to David Petroff,
well, now 3 of the officials are huddled up together and discussing what to do. Do we have any idea where the play ended, what yard line?
I think it ended right at the 14-yard line.
Okay, well, that from there would make it about a 31-yard field goal attempt from inside the left hash, which is good for your right-footed kicker. But they are still discussing. You might want to get the T on the burner. I mean, these guys love to talk.
And now the slow walk.
The referee makes the rain delay walk our way. Dead ball after the play. Personal foul offense, that's Royse City. How many of those are we going to see tonight? It's not been a good night for dead ball penalties against the White.
Well, we're on 5 and counting right now.
Well, this is going to put it down at the 27. I believe they just marked off a 13-yard penalty, by the way.
They did put 5 seconds back on the clock, so now there's 12 seconds left during the first half.
So there's a little positive to go with the negative. The negative is right now it would be a 44-yard field goal attempt. They have time to run at least one more play, but remember, Royse City has no timeouts. So if you do something inbounds here and don't get a first down, it's going to be tough.
Well, the first down marker is at the 5-yard line.
The 4, actually, it looks like. But that's a long way
they
from
go
where they are.
Yeah.
7 penalties, 75 yards, and most of those on the dead ball after the play against Royse City.
Veracruz in the shotgun. He looks right. Now rolls out of the pocket, is rushed out, rolls out to the right, throws this one out of bounds and incomplete with 3 seconds on the clock.
They just threw it away. Intended receiver was one of the Ennis coaches over here deep on the sideline. He was out of the pocket, threw it far enough to where he would not get intentional grounding, and just delivered it out of bounds, and they got 3 seconds. Again, you mentioned the range. It all depends on whether they think the kicker can do it or not, and it looks like they don't think he can because they're going to run another play here with 3 seconds.
That looks like it'll be just outside of what Petroff is comfortable with in Mitchell Stokes. Veracruz heaves this one to the end zone and picked off in the end zone. No, to the ground. Either way, incomplete. And that'll take us to the end of the first half here from Lyon Memorial Stadium. 43 Ennis, Royse City 18. You're listening to 92.1 FM, KXEZ.
And we're back in Ennis. It's halftime. It's Ennis 43, Royse City 18, in a wild first half of play. Don Drake, the athletic director here at Ennis, has joined us. We've got a lot of things we want to talk to him about, but I would be remiss if I didn't get your opinion as an old coach. Your opinion of the first half here.
Well, I think it's been a pretty physical game. A lot of emotions, obviously, as we talked about right before we went back on air. There's a lot of after play activity, I guess, going on. With emotions running high. Obviously, it's an extremely important football game. A lot of offense been on display so far in the first half. So, while that's exciting for the fans, it's pretty stressful for coaches when you see those kind of points go up in a half, right? You realize you got to get in there and get some things fixed defensively.
How about some special teams problems?
Right.
it's been pretty ugly, really.
Yeah.
Maybe some inactivity on both teams. I don't know, but boy, the special teams, the place kicking gives the coaches plenty to work on during practice, doesn't it?
There's no doubt about that.
As a coach in your previous life before becoming athletic director, does inactivity, this is only the second game in 4 weeks for Royse City. I know Ennis has only played 3 games. Does inactivity lead to problems in special teams and with place kicking, or I take it you still have time to work on it, don't you? Or does game action help that a lot?
Well, yeah, game action always helps in any phase. And we've played every other week basically. Is what we've done. I mean, this is the first week where we've played in back-to-back weeks all season. And I know Royse City's coming off a 2-week break essentially, right? Because they didn't play last week, and so. When you're a football team and you're trying to get into a rhythm, you're trying to get in game shape.
Coaches love rhythm, don't they?
I'm telling you, it really, really matters. And the speed of the game, your kids aren't able to get adjusted to that as easily because you're not playing consistently like you're used to, and so it makes it very difficult in a lot of different ways.
Let's talk about your son, the starting quarterback at Ennis. You say he's been a 4-year starter?
He played for me at McKinney Boyd, started several games there as a freshman, and then started several games as a sophomore as well. So, he's been a starter for 4 years, and it's been fun to be a part of that. Obviously, not only as his father, but also as his coach, because I had the opportunity to coach him for a couple of years there, and so it's been a great experience. And moving down here last year, and having a great year like they had a year ago, going 12-2, and losing in the 4th round of the playoffs, and in an overtime game against 9-time state champion Aledo. I mean, it's exciting. And so
when you fill out a resume, I want to be the athletic director at Ennis ISD. Do you put on your resume that I also come with a son who could be your starting quarterback the next 2 years? Or I'm halfway kidding, but then again, it's kind of a package.
Yeah,
I take it it's not a package deal.
Well, I don't know if that helped me or not in the interview process, but I think they're pretty happy that he's here and he's a part of this program and a part of this team. So we're excited to be part of the Ennis Lion family, no doubt.
And what's it like to have your son play for a legend in Sam Harrell?
Well, I told Sam, when we first moved down here that, as his father and as a coach, right, I enjoyed coaching him so much. But, if there was anybody who was going to coach him other than me, I was honored to have a guy like Sam be able to coach him, right? So, obviously the guy's a legend and extremely well thought of across all coaching circles, and so it's been a blessing to have our son be under his tutelage, no doubt.
Tell me if I've got this worded right. This is the father of Colin Drake, Don Drake, the athletic director here at Ennis. I take it instead of him being the son of Don Drake, you're the father of Colin Drake, correct?
Yeah.
If you see my point.
Yes.
What's his future going to be like? Any offers? Who's looking at him? Where's he looking?
Well, he's had a couple of offers to some non-FBS schools at different levels, and so considering that, and obviously hoping that some others will come his way. Thankfully, he's a pretty good student as well. He's ranked number 2 in his class currently, and so,
really.
So he's applied to several of the major universities, across the state, and we're waiting to see what kind of academic scholarship opportunities may come his way as well because of his academic status and how hard he's worked in the classroom. And so, we'll see.
Number 2 in a class of how many?
There's 400, right around 400 here in the senior class. So.
Did you get that from you or his mother?
Well, yeah, I always say he got everything from his mom, right? Got his looks, got his athleticism, got his brain. So I don't know how much I contributed to that whole piece there, but he's worked really hard. He's worked really hard in the classroom, worked really hard athletically, and so I'm just real happy to see how things are coming together for him, particularly over the last couple of years.
Let's switch gears. What's it like being the athletic director at a large ISD during COVID time?
Yeah, that's been pretty eventful. You can plan quite a bit for all the different things that may occur or could occur, and you've got contingency plans for, all those different things. And you just never know, right? Like what's going to come up. And there's so many things that I think you really can't plan for. I mean, we talked about it in our DEC just in terms of trying to plan to get a district schedule played. And, everybody's probably very familiar with the fact that, we started out with a traditional district schedule and we built in some makeup dates, and we thought we had a pretty good plan for how that was going to work out. And then we had 3 of our schools before we ever played their first district ball game that ended up with, cancellation issues because of COVID. And so we had to go back and revisit that and split it into 2 zones so that now we play fewer district games, but still have built-in makeup dates in hopes that we're able to get all those zone games played and then get a seeding game played so that we can get 4 teams to represent our district in the playoffs.
Donna, I wanted to talk about the changes the district made. First of all, before we tell about the changes, why did you feel like the changes needed to be made? It appeared to me like you still had enough time to get the regular schedule in. Am I right or wrong about that?
Well, so originally we had 2 makeup dates built into the schedule. And just speaking from our perspective of Ennis, our first district game against Greenville was going to be postponed. Our second district game against Sulphur Springs was going to be forfeited, okay? So we would not have played a district game yet, and both of those potential makeup dates would have happened before we ever played a game. And so looking at that, we had to go, hey, we got to figure out something else because, what if we run into a potential situation with COVID, right? I mean, there's no available makeup dates left, and we don't have any games played yet.
And Royse City had just had 2 out of 3 games canceled due to COVID as another example. So that's why. Now, what happened? You divided it into 2 zones, no names for the zones.
Yep.
Royse City, Ennis, Crandall, and Forney in one zone, and the other 4 schools in the other zone. Tell best you can and as less confusing as possible. Sure. I know that's the hard part with all this, is trying to not be confusing about it. But how did you decide who went into which zones? What were the parameters you went by?
Right. So basically, we looked at the first 2 weeks of the schedule, and we said, all right, who's been matched up to play? The 4 teams that are in our zone were not matched up in either of those weeks.
You mean the last 2 weeks?
Correct.
Okay.
So those 4 teams went into a zone. The other 4 went into a zone because they had not been matched up within the first 2 weeks. So essentially it gave us a clean start tonight, whereas nobody had played anybody yet, right? No forfeits had to be made because of problems that we had with COVID for the first couple of weeks. So we could kind of start fresh on both sides of the zone, play out the next 3 weeks, and then play a seeding game for order.
And the seeding game for order means after these 3 weeks, if all goes well, you'll know who 1 and 2 in each zone is. Those 4 teams will make the playoffs. But if some seeding decisions need to be made, excuse me, and you can't make them by head-to-head that's already taken place, then you, in that 4th week, you may have a couple of zone playoff games.
Correct. So you take the 2 number 1 seeds coming out of the zones, they'll play each other for 1st and 2nd place. You'll take the 2 number 2s, they'll play each other for 3rd and 4th place.
Unless they've already played. For
Correct.
instance, Royse City has already beaten Corsicana as an example. So if they're both number 2 seeds, Royse City would be the 3rd seed, Corsicana would be the 4th seed.
Correct. That is correct.
Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a dry throat here. Okay, now let's say that the 3 weeks are up or the 4 weeks are up and it's all decided. Well, then what's going to happen? Are the teams still going to play 10 games? Do they have to kind of see who else wants to play them? Could there will be some meaningless games played if they are played at the end of the year. Tell me how all that works.
Sure. So if everything goes perfectly according to plan, then that seed game would happen on November the 20th, so the Friday before Thanksgiving break.
And you're trying to take Thanksgiving off, which originally was on the schedule,
correct.
Right?
And so we would take Thanksgiving off like we originally had built in. And so then that would leave one playing date on December the 4th, the last Friday night of the regular season. We've all already agreed that everybody's in the district's going to play. what it's going to come down to is who we're going to match up against each other. It may be the number 1 team out of one zone playing the number 2 team out of the other zone, because they may not have been matched up right already in the season. So we'll try to create some matchups there for our kids and our teams and our fans that haven't been played.
If you lose a game, if somebody loses a game in these next 3 weeks, will there be some games on Thanksgiving if needed?
Potentially, yes. I mean,
Okay.
because we still have some potential makeup dates. So Thanksgiving would be one of those dates. Obviously, we could move that seeding game all the way to December 4th, which would open up the 11-20 date for a makeup game if we had to. So there's still multiple makeup dates there. The UIL allows you to play a football game every 5 days. So we've got 2 Friday night dates that we could use, but if we had to go to a 5-day system, we could actually probably squeeze in another playing date in there if we needed to.
Is there anything that we have not addressed in connection to this that was decided? That pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
Oh, I think so. And again, I feel we all feel really good about the plan. Obviously, we have voted to approve it, and feel like it gives us the best chance to finish district play and find our 4 best teams to represent our district in the playoffs.
And by the way, y'all voted on all this. Weren't there a lot of different votes taken on, or am I wrong about that?
Well, I mean, anytime you meet and discuss these things, you have to vote, kind of vote your way through it. Again, we had to vote in the original plan that we figured out wasn't going to work, right? And we met, discussed, and finally arrived at this, and we felt like it gave us the best opportunity to give our kids a chance to go play ball.
Well, thanks for your hospitality here tonight. It's been a pretty good football game. Hopefully it'll be a good second half. Thanks for coming up and doing this, and good luck to your program the rest of the way, and good luck with your son and his future, Colin Drake.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me.
That's Don Drake, the athletic director at Ennis High School. Let's take a break. More of our halftime in a moment. It's 43-18 Ennis over Royse City here at halftime on KXEZ.
(43-18) right after the kickoff, down to the 30, and that is where the Royse City Bulldogs will set up shop. Joe Veracruz right there to lead them on the field.
Boy, is it just me, or was that a quick halftime?
I thought it was extremely quick.
I thought it was incredibly quick. I thought when I said goodbye to Don Drake, I thought we still had 10 minutes of halftime left or so.
Under center for the first time tonight, they pitch it out to Dozier, and he has gobbled up behind the line for a loss of 5 on the play. Bringing up 2nd and 15 on the first play of the second half for the Bulldogs.
So we apologize because of the quick halftime. We were unable to play that interview with David Petroff, but hopefully Don Drake was able to explain the changes in the district to you and explain them well. I think he was able to do that.
After that bunch set, now 2nd and 15. Now a pitch out to the right side, and the ball is caught by Dozier, but he is hammered behind the line for a loss of another close to 5 yards. Bringing up 3rd down and very long with just a minute off the clock here in the second half. Veracruz now with the dual halfback set. 2 receivers out to his left on the far side. From the right hash mark, going left to right. Quick slant pass up the seam. And a big-time hit, and it was on Jackson, but a flag comes flying in on that hit.
And a pretty violent hit as a lot of the training staff from the Royse City sidelines on the field. Jackson gets up and trots off the field. That is encouraging.
Sir Hill actually on that play, like you said, trotted off the field. Encouraging to see that. He was down for a couple of seconds.
The scary thing was there was training staff headed toward the field, but then he got up and trotted off, so that was good news. But mainly here on 92.1 FM KXEZ, a player has been ejected from Ennis, correct?
Correct. Targeting is the call, and a player trots off the field. It's Stephon Townsend.
Well, you've seen this coming all night long, the chippiness, all the dead ball, personal fouls, and unsportsmanlike conduct. These two teams don't exactly like each other, I don't think.
Stephon Townsend, we could see that throughout the whole game. Stephon Townsend ejected from the game
He leads the team in interceptions and pass deflections. He is a big defensive back in terms of action for this Ennis team. And an automatic first down now from the 35. That's where the Bulldogs will take over. Neighbors and Dozier on both sides of Veracruz. Handoff to Neighbors. He gets around the tackle and upfield for a couple of yards on the play at the 37. Minute and a half off the clock here in the third. Bringing up 2nd and long. We'll see if Coach David Petroff draws up here on this 2nd and long play. Neighbors, the tight end on the right side. From the left hash mark, going left to right. Veracruz in the shotgun. He hands it off to Dozier, who slips a little bit but falls forward and gets maybe 2 on the play down to the 39.
Mitchum, it was Mitchum on the carry. He the turf monster got him in the backfield right after he took the handoff. He was barely able to keep his balance as he hit the hole and went down quickly with the help of the imbalance.
So a 3rd and medium, 3rd and 6. Trips out to the right side on the far side. Veracruz in the shotgun, shouting instructions to his offensive line. 2 stacked receivers on the short side on his left. Empty backfield. Veracruz takes a step back, heaves it down the field, a diving play, and a catch. Beautiful catch from Jonah Robertson. Marked down at the 36. Whistles come flying in.
Yeah, we've got a penalty, it appears.
And we are waiting for the call. Penalty markers down at the line of scrimmage.
They're bringing it back. Procedure, Royse City.
A beautiful play on 3rd and 6 gets erased. Perfect throw from Veracruz. Put it in a tiny pocket and a nice catch from Robertson. But that pushes them back 5.
8 for 80 yards tonight against Royse City. At least we had a live penalty for once.
Just a ridiculous number in terms of penalty yardage. Bringing up 3rd and 11. 43-18 the score here from Lyon Memorial Stadium. Ennis over Royse City. They've put together a great offensive attack, which Ennis has, and Royse City trying to answer that right here. 3rd and 11. Play action. Veracruz looks down left side of the field, throws it toward the sideline, caught by Jackson right near the first down marker.
He's got it. Great job of chain hunting by Keytron as he ran his pattern down the far sideline where the chains are on that visiting sideline, stopped at the marker, turned, caught the football, and just stepped out.
Just a big-time IQ play right there from Jackson.
And gave him an extra yard of cushion also on the first down marker.
Trip stack on the left side, tied in on the right side, 1 back in the backfield for Veracruz, and he has stopped. Sam Mitchum gets unloaded on. It was Peyton Chapman, the senior linebacker, coming in and delivering a hard hit at the line of scrimmage.
Royse City trying to hurry up here.
The H-back Neighbors, 3 receivers out to the left, trips to the left.
Nice time-consuming drive, keeping that Ennis offense off the field.
Hand it off to Mitchum, and Mitchum gets tripped up near the line of scrimmage, just past it, maybe a gain of 1 on the play, bringing up 3rd and long.
You know, we have not seen Dozier much, and I don't think he even started the second half. You got to wonder what is wrong with Champ Dozier.
Well, I see Champ standing right near the coaches
so
on the sideline.
It's not a case of being injured, it appears.
We hope not. Maybe.
Yeah, he's just standing there kind of slump-shouldered, probably wondering what we're wondering, why he's not in there.
Tight end set, 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Play action, and a man comes and knocks him down, and a big sack for the Ennis Lions. Yeah, Eric Gonzalez, the sophomore, coming in off the blitz.
Yeah, outside linebacker, untouched on the blitz. Nobody saw him coming, and with Veracruz, the right-handed quarterback, had his back to the rusher and had no chance to step around it. He never saw it coming until it hit him.
It's like a freight train.
The sophomore Eric Gonzalez, 34 tackles coming into this one, 2 for a loss, and that's his first sack of the year. And actually, this is the first punt of the game, aside from the safety for the Bulldogs. High punt fielded at the 25-yard line. And he pushes forward past the 35 to the 36.
13-yard return. Pretty good coverage, but he just stepped around a couple of those first wave folks and got a 13-yard return out of it.
Davion Johnson on that return. 6:39 and a big time consuming drive, like you mentioned, by the Bulldogs. It ends up in a punt. I guess the only positive thing is he knocked off 5.5 minutes from this quarter.
Yeah, but you've got to get points when you're down by 25, especially to a team that has scored on all but one possession in this game.
Empty backfield for Drake and the Lions, and a quarterback draw nets them 4 yards, make it 5 on that first down play.
Hayden Hayes with a shoestring tackle from behind, or that could have gone for more. They're very consistent on that play. It's never a huge gainer, but he gets a solid 5 to 7 every time they run it. Right up the middle.
Again, an empty backfield for Colin Drake and the Lions. Now a receiver goes in motion. That's Barry. And they fake it, and Drake breaks a couple of tackles. He's up the field across the 30, across the 25, and down at the 21-yard line. That's Colin Drake's longest run of the year. His previous long.
Gain of 23 on the play.
His previous long was 16 yards.
He's up to 73 yards rushing on the night. And we've got a little timeout here taken by Ennis. Our sponsors tonight, North Texas Appliance, True Blue Heating and Air Conditioning, Belfiore Spa and Salon, Guarantee Bank and Trust, Joe Willie's, Arbolitas Mexican Grill, and Alumni Sports Bar and Grill. Thanks to our sponsors tonight.
There's an injured Bulldog down at the midfield mark.
Go see those friendly folks at North Texas Appliance in Rockwall. Don't forget about the scratch and dent appliances. Sometimes they're hard to find, but those scratches and dents come at reduced prices. Also, the first quality appliances come at good prices at North Texas Appliance, Rockwall, 1535 East I-30.
Hayden Adams, the down dog, steps up, or gets up and walks off the field under his own power. So that's a good sign. Clock keeps ticking, 5:50 left to go in the third. First down at the 21 for the Ennis Lions.
Gains of 18 and 23 last two plays for Drake on runs.
They hand it off to Smith on the sweep, and he is untouched going into the end zone. 21-yard touchdown run by Karan Smith, the senior.
You like that speed? Good hole over left tackle. He was into the secondary real quickly, and nobody had a chance.
Okay. Shifted into another gear once he got past the line of scrimmage and saw that hole.
Boy, this team has individual speed all over the field.
Aguilar on for the extra point try.
62 yards in 3 plays. That's the way to get it done.
Kick is up and good, making it an even 50 points on the board for the Ennis Lions. It's 50-18 here in Ennis. The Royse City Bulldogs trail here on 92.1 FM KXEZ. The Bulldogs trail 50-18 after an offensive onslaught for the Ennis Lions, just putting together surgical drives and then one after the other long plays. A 21-yard play from Karan Smith, the senior. Total yardage of 366 for the Lions. 124 through the air and 242 on the ground. 15 first downs, and they have just been dominant. They're playing like a #1 team in the state. On for the kickoff, it's Aguilar. 5:36 on the game clock. And this one skied out. Fielded at the 5-yard line, now trying to reverse his field, gets to the 10-yard line and still on his feet, and finally knocked out of bounds around the 14-yard line. Keithron Smith on the return.
One of the strengths of this Ennis team all night long has been kickoff coverage, and the last thing you want to do is run diagonally across the field from one side to the other. That was a long run for no return, basically. Stopped at the 15-yard line. It felt like he ran 30 yards.
The Bulldogs just cannot catch a break with field position. They've started well inside their own territory all night long.
Ennis has a huge speed advantage. Usually when you get a number one team in the state, usually they're going to have the advantage in speed, and we've seen it on both sides of the ball plus special teams, especially that kick coverage.
Now dual halfback set. Veracruz trying to run for it. It looked like a mishandle or a miscommunication. He gains maybe a yard on the play down to the 16-yard line. Second and long. 2nd and 8 officially. Now dual halfback set once again. They've been running that a lot, and Dozier in the game now. Maybe for the first time we've seen in the second half. They do hand it off to Dozier. It's a play action, and it's picked off. Picked off after the short slant at the 15-yard line. Pulls forward. And it looked like that was Tyquan Johnson.
No, actually it's Peyton Chapman, number 2, one of the linebackers. I don't think he ever saw him, and it was just an easy pick right into the gut of Chapman.
Out of nowhere, Veracruz throws his first interception of the year. And a great play by Chapman puts the Lions in fantastic field position. First play from scrimmage for them. They hand it off, and it goes nowhere for maybe the first time tonight we've seen a play go backwards for this running game.
Yeah, they just stuffed the hole and hit him the second he took the handoff. I mean, that was very impressive on the surge right up the middle.
Devion Johnson on the carry. In the backfield with Colin Drake.
Remember, this is just a 3-man front for Royse City.
Play action again. He's got a man wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Colin Drake and the Lions. Skyland Simmons on the right sideline.
Play action into the line, just a little fade route into the end zone, and usually on a fade route, there's a little competition from the defense, but he beat the corner over there badly. It was just an easy pass and catch. It was a little bit almost outside to the sideline, but he was able to haul it in with a foot in bounds.
Angel Aguilar.
I'd like to take a rifle down and blow a hole into that horn, to be quite honest. I don't know how to be any more blunt.
Angel Aguilar with the extra point try, and good.
Unfortunately, they're on their 57th point, so we've had to hear it many times tonight.
57-18, 4:13 left to go here in the third quarter. Royse City trails the Ennis Lions, and just another surgical drive for the Lions here on 92.1 FM at KXEZ.
Joe Willie's Restaurant, still your home for the best build-your-own burgers in town. Yes, despite COVID-19, you can still build them. It's just done differently. The condiment bar is closed, but all you have to do is ask for the sauces, the lettuce, tomato, and so forth. They'll give you all you want. All you got to do is ask at Joe Willie's Restaurant, Rockwall.
Kickoff goes out of bounds at the 10-yard line, so they'll spot it up at the 30. 57-18. Colin Drake once again finding his man Skyland Simmons down the right sideline, who runs a fantastic route, by the way.
Look at some of the Ennis numbers. You know what's amazing? They're under 400 yards of total offense, and they got 57 points. 380, 240, though, on the ground. That's really the key. when you can run it for 240, you can control the football, control the game. They've only thrown for 140. They average over 300 a game through the air, over 200 a game.
And Veracruz fumbles the snap a little bit. It was a bad snap. Now rolls out to his left. Somehow gets out of a sack and gets hit hard near the left sideline on that first down play for Royse City. Just a bad snap and a bad start to that play from the beginning. Ball spotted now at the 27-yard line, making it the 28. And it's just been a tough game here for Royse City in all aspects of it. In the shotgun, Veracruz has two receivers to his right on the far side. Hand off to Sam Mitchum. Mitchum's got a hole up the middle across the 35 and down close to a first down mark across the 40.
Huge hole up the middle. Ennis had to be expecting a pass there on 2nd and 12, and they just ran a simple handoff, and the offensive line opened a huge hole on the left side. Mitchum has really good quickness. He's a nice complement when he comes off the bench with that quickness.
First down for Royse City. And now showing a pistol formation. First time tonight they've shown that. They hand it off to Mitchum again, right up the middle. Gain of 7 on the play.
Mitchum been the primary back. Again, Dozier has not played much, especially since about the second quarter. We don't really know why. Maybe, with all these unsportsmanlike conducts, who knows? Maybe it's a discipline problem. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Again in the pistol formation. Two tight ends on either side of the lineman. They hand it off to the right side now to Mitchum. Up the gut. Close to the first down mark. They'll mark him just short. 3rd and 1 coming up. 2:15 left to go here in the third quarter. 57-18. Yes, 57-18. 39 points is the difference between the Ennis Lions and the Royse City Bulldogs. Veracruz hands this one off to Mitchum once again. Crosses midfield mark and gets the first down. So the chains keep rolling. First and 10 from the Lion 49. Veracruz with Mitchum and Robertson in the backfield with them. That dual halfback set once again. Keatron Jackson out to the left with Michael Alfin. Bad snap again, and they hand it off to Robertson, who cuts back to the right side, gets past the 45, and is met by a pride of Lions near the 40-yard line. Mark him down at the 41 for a 5-yard gain.
Great job by Robertson to make something out of nothing. The whole play was thrown off by the snap. They get it to him. He was supposed to go up the middle, saw a huge opening around the right end, and took advantage of it.
Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Dual halfback set once again. Two receivers to the far side on the left. Veracruz on the right hash mark. Hand it off to Mitchum. Mitchum slips up a little bit, but crosses the 40-yard line and crosses the first down mark. Marked down at the 38-yard line, and they're taking a lot off the clock, but they keep getting this yardage from these short plays. You got to wonder, where was this a few quarters ago? I say a few.
Well, they had some drives like this. They just couldn't sustain them all. And, of course, they haven't made any stops on defense. That's the biggest problem. Besides all the penalties, this has been a mistake-filled game. Coach Petroff, they got plenty to clean up in practice next week with a much more manageable opponent in Forney and Crandall the next 2 weeks. They can still make the playoffs if they can come back and beat Forney and Crandall in zone play.
Veracruz hands off to Sam Mitchum, who gains a yard on the play. That'll take us to the end of the third quarter. Here from Lion Memorial Stadium, Ennis 57, Royse City 18. You're listening to 92.1 FM, KXEZ.
92.1 is your Metroplex home for Texas A&M football and men's basketball. Tomorrow, the Aggies play host to Arkansas. Kickoff at 6:30. Our pregame starts at 5:30 here on KXEZ. 92.1 and 95.3 FM KHYI. The Range are deeply rooted and invested here in North Texas. Thanks for listening and your support. We'd love to have you as a sponsor of our high school games. Just call us at 972-251-0725. Great way to reach your customers. Very affordable. Love to talk to you about it. Again, the number 972-251-0725.
First play of the fourth quarter. Veracruz heaves this one for Jackson. Tipped up in the air. Underthrew him and incomplete, and a nice play from Ashton Ely. Ely, the junior, the 6', 170-pound junior. Knocks that one to the ground and forces a third down and long. Again, 57-18 the score. Ennis leads Royse City.
That's her fast start. Veracruz now 12 out of 20. He has not as good of a second half as he did a first half.
Now he lines up in an empty backfield on the right hash mark, going right to left. Three receivers on his left, two to his right. Veracruz heaves this one down the field and throws it to nobody, or maybe just wide of Robertson going down the field.
Yeah, Robertson, but he was double covered, never had a chance to complete that. I bet you Robertson never expected to be double covered by Ennis tonight.
Not especially when he's not on the same side as Ketron Jackson.
Yeah, you would think the double coverage would go with Jackson.
Mitchum now in the backfield with Veracruz. Two receivers out to his left, one to his right. They got a tight end, Neighbors, on that right side of that formation. Snap to Veracruz. Veracruz goes out of the pocket. He's got a man deep down the field.
Oh,
he had a step on him, hit him in stride, but just couldn't hang on, was the intended receiver.
Alpha's not the biggest kid in the world. At 5'10", 150, he was a little bit tall. He still was able to get his hands on it. I think Michael would tell you he should have made the catch. But, for instance, Jackson, who's a little bit taller, it would have been a pretty easy catch. Alpha almost made it. You can tell he's disappointed by the body language. He also looks like he may have twisted an ankle a little bit or pulled a muscle. It looks like he's stretching it out over there on the sideline.
Had him one-on-one, had his man beat. Nice throw from Veracruz, but that fourth down incompletion forces a turnover on downs. Drake in the empty backfield throws it to his man, Skyland Simmons, who catches it at the 40-yard line and gets three more at the 43.
Well, don't forget, next Friday night, 7:30, we'll be back home for the last two zone games to try and make the playoffs, as they'll take on Forney next Friday. That'll be homecoming. Homecoming was supposed to be tonight when they were going to host Sulphur Springs, but it got switched to next Friday night. We'll be on the air at 7:10 with our countdown to kickoff, 7:30 kickoff against Forney, and then Crandall the following week.
Empty backfield for the Ennis Lions, and Drake on the quarterback keeper goes up and in to Bulldog territory down to the 41-yard line. A big run on second down. Over a minute off the clock here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this game really got away from Royse City early, 7-0, and then we have a fumbled, a blocked punt, and they made it 14-0 real early, and Royse City really was out of this early.
Empty backfield for Drake. Drake throws this up the seam. He's got his man, and that's Clayton Jenkins, the tight end. Second reception of the night. Takes it down to the 15-yard line.
Boy, this team has really gotten it done right down the middle of the field tonight off of play action. Is the tight end wide open on that play. A lot of their yardage right down the gut of the field.
Empty backfield once again. Man in motion. They hand it off on the jet sweep. He's got his man up the middle, wide open, end zone, touchdown, Ennis Lions. Chase Berry on the jet sweep.
How about a quick three-play, 63-yard drive? It's more like a gallop.
9:56 left in this one. Aguilar on for the extra point. That jet sweep, we've seen it twice And twice it's been big plays, if not touchdowns, if I can remember.
I think there's only been one possession that they have not scored off of.
Kick is up and through, stretching their lead to 45, 64-18, excuse me. I mean, my math's all wrong. 64-18, you're on 92.1 FM, KXEZ.
What a night Colin Drake has had for the Ennis Lions, who lead at 64-18. He is 12 of 16 passing for 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's got 100 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns rushing, or 1 touchdown rushing, and 8 carries, 100 yards. What a night for Colin Drake, the quarterback. As we heard from his father, the athletic director here at Ennis, at halftime. Hope you heard that interview.
Lions set to kick off.
Thanks to our sponsors again, North Texas Appliance, True Blue Heating and Air Conditioning, Belfiore Spa and Salon. We'll finish after the kickoff here.
This one fielded inside the 10, across the 20. And that's where Veracruz and the Bulldogs will set up shop.
Guarantee Bank and Trust, Joe Willie's Restaurant, Arbolitas Mexican Grill, and Alumni Sports Bar and Grill, thanks to our sponsors tonight.
The Lions up by 46 over the Bulldogs. Really now they're playing for a little bit of, what'd you say, pride, momentum, something to take into the next game?
No answer. It's 64-18. It's hard to muster much right now.
And off to Sam Mitchum, who gets past the 30-yard line to the 31.
I'll answer your question. A defensive stop would be good. I mean, the defense has had holes in it tonight, big time. Veracruz still in there at quarterback, but a new running back, I believe you just mentioned him, Joseph Vera, carried the ball. So let's get some other people some playing time.
Play action pass and screen out to Jackson,
who's had a good night. Most of the first half, though.
Maybe a gain of, actually, they get the first down on the play, 9 minutes and counting.
Jackson's numbers now: 126 yards receiving on 6 receptions and 2 touchdowns.
He's playing like a D1 recruit that he is. Veracruz in the shotgun from the left hash mark, going right to left. 2 receivers on his right. He hands it off to Mitchum. Mitchum takes a couple of Lions with him for a gain of 5 yards.
By the way, we'll have Aiden Brocky's stat report before we go off the air in the post-game show. Yes, Aiden is here, and we'll hear from him at halftime. After the game, I apologize. We should have had him on at halftime, but we kind of got a quick halftime and caught us by surprise.
Closing out on 8 minutes left. Hand off to Mitchum once again. Veracruz keeps it up the middle, past the 45 for a first down. Joe Veracruz on the run. Veracruz with a rushing touchdown, and this one a 1-yard rushing touchdown. His first of the year. Not the fleetest of foot. He gets the first down there. Low snap. Quick out to the right side. It's Michael Alphin. Makes the catch across the 45. Into Lion territory. Close to the first down mark. Second and short.
You know, we hadn't had many penalties recently. I hope I didn't jinx it. As here comes the referee with the next penalty call. Procedure against Royse City, but I think they've held the flags a little bit more here in the second half. Keep that clock running. Feels like almost every penalty in the first half was a dead ball situation. These two teams very chippy in the first half.
You know, as you say that, they did throw a penalty flag.
You know, we usually talk to David Petroff on Monday mornings, and we will again this coming Monday. I get the feeling he's not going to be happy with all the penalties and the personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conducts, and a lot of them were unforced errors, which helped Ennis along tonight.
Flag comes flying in, and Veracruz hands this one off. And a nice game, but it looks like it might be negated. This one's down. The flag is down at the 40-yard line. The run got past the 50-yard line into Lion territory.
Well, the city coach is not happy. They're all out to the numbers and past the numbers.
Bryson Deal. I'm sure it was a holding call on Bryson Deal. And a timeout by Royse City with 7:07 left to go.
Yeah, let's take a break. Back in a moment here on KXEZ.
You're on 92.1 FM KXEZ.
Go see the friendly folks at North Texas Appliance Rockwall. They're at 1535 East I-30, the South Service Road. You can go by or call 972-771-0393. North Texas Appliance, a longtime sponsor here on KXEZ. And Joe Willie's Restaurant, named after the former NFL great Joe Willie Namath, a longtime sponsor on KXEZ. Joe Willie's located at 2006 South Goliad, Suite 200 in Rockwall. You can go or call 972-772-9432. Joe Willie's, Rockwall.
2nd and 20. Hand off to Mitchum up the middle. Past the 45, down to the 48-yard line. Mitchum getting some yardage in this garbage time. $60 yards. On 13 carries. Third and long. They're 4 of 9 on third down conversions tonight. Dual halfbacks. Veracruz hands it off. I'm not sure if that was Mitchum or not. Like it was Joseph Vara on the carry.
Got an injured Ennis Lion who also lost a shoe. I hope that he didn't hurt his foot, and that's why he took his shoe off. Oh, they get him up pretty quickly.
Looks like a sprain
of the foot without the shoe. It's not a good sign.
6:15 left to go on this one. 64-18, 46-point differential tonight. I mean, and you said it, just no stops defensively. Nope. And they don't call them they're not the number one team in the state.
You know you're in trouble when you're facing a team that averages 230 on the ground and 230 in the air and 53 points a game. I mean, you've got to play pretty well defensively just to stay in the game, and they never really were in the game.
Veracruz drops back. He's in the shotgun, rushed out and knocked down and sacked.
Well, that's a coverage sack. He had 2 receivers streaking down either sideline deep. Nobody over the middle, no real safety valve, unfortunately. And he stood tall and couldn't find anybody open, and eventually went down.
Braden Gardner, Jr. on the sack, got in there, brought Veracruz down, forces a turnover on downs. And this Ennis offense comes back onto the field. A new quarterback, Jackson Gilkey, comes into the game for the Lions. Starting from the 39-yard line. Hand off to Fabian Bex, who has just stopped at the line of scrimmage and pushed back a couple of yards. A loss of 2 on the play. 2nd and 11 from the 41-yard line. And it's just showing off a potpourri of offense and defense, special teams, everything you can think of. And off again to Bex, and another loss on the play. Loss of a yard on the play. 5 minutes to go in this one. This is the highest scoring game of the year for the Ennis Lions. Their previous was 63 last week against Mansfield Summit. And an injured Bulldog down on the field at the 41-yard line. Training staff will come out and we'll take a quick break with 4:49 left to go in this one. You're listening to 92.1 FM KXEZ. 64-18 the score here from Lyon Memorial Stadium. Ennis just shellacking the Royse City Bulldogs. Throw to the far side and caught by Nick Novi. Close to the first down mark. And Jackson Gilkey completes his first pass attempt of the night. Didn't quite get out of bounds, so the clock keeps ticking. 4.5 minutes left to go in this one. Royse City defense just did not show up tonight. I mean, they did. They're on the field, but they're playing the number 1 team in the state, best offense in the state, and they couldn't handle them. Hand off to Bex, and Bex gains a couple on the play and gets the first down on 4th down and keeps the chains moving. Key point there, he stayed in, bounces an inside run, and the clock keeps moving. Big night on the ground for the Lions. As Gilkey throws this one to his man over the middle. He's got it complete to Jace Berry, who walks it into the end zone for another Ennis touchdown. They tack on 6 with 3.5 to go in this one. Gilkey with a touchdown pass, making it 70-18.
I guess they were concerned that 64 points wasn't enough, so they thought they'd go up into the air and get a few more out of it.
They will never say never, Scott. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I can tell you what I'm thinking.
Aguilar on for the extra point try. Chapman to hold. Kick is up. It is through. 71-18 the score.
46-point lead with 3 minutes left, and we're throwing the ball.
3.5 to go here from Lyon Memorial Stadium. You're listening to 92.1 FM KXEZ. Three and a half to go here from Lyon Memorial Stadium. 71-18.
It was 64-18 before the touchdown pass.
A little bit of gamesmanship from the Ennis Lions.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's so obvious it's not even funny that that's running up the score.
I mean, it's
not
like
been this kind of chippiness all night. Now you got me wondering if the coaches are not happy with each other.
Well, you're not talking
if you're
about
Petrov, you can't be happy with Harrell right now.
They can't make the argument that it's for a tiebreaker at the end of the season. No one's going to score as many points as them in the district.
No, you cap those tiebreakers anyway. You cap them at 18 or whatever. You have a cap. Over a certain amount, it doesn't do you any good to avoid these situations. As you can tell, it didn't work, but.
Fielded at the 10-yard line. Keatron Jackson across the 20 at the 22-yard line. Jackson a little slow to get up, but finally does. Excuse me, that wasn't even Jackson. It was Keatron Smith. Slow to get up. For Gilkey, that was his second touchdown pass of the year. Only a sophomore, maybe that had something to do with it. But still, running up the score like that.
I mean, what's the difference in that and trying an onside kick on the kickoff?
I can't think of any difference between those two.
At least they were at the Royse City, 20, 30-yard line, and you want to find some kind of defense for that.
Veracruz in the shotgun, dual halfback set. They hand it off to Mitchum. Mitchum off the tackle. Gets a couple on the play across the 25 to the 26. Why not just run it? Run the clock down, then take a knee once it gets under 2 minutes? I don't know.
Or just stop yourselves on 4th down. Yeah. It ain't going to make any difference on the scoreboard.
Handoff goes to the left side. They get the first down and a couple of extra yards. Running back on the play, Jonah Robertson. Approaching 2.5 left to go on this long, long Friday night.
At least it was the backup quarterback. I'll give you that much.
Quick play out to the right side. Veracruz missed his receiver, Bryson Deal, after the quick play action.
And if David Petroff says something after the game, that'll be Sam Harrell's excuse that it was a backup quarterback in there. I mean, it could be worse. It could have been the starting quarterback in there with 3 minutes left.
Hand off to Mitchum on the right side on the sweep. He makes a man miss, gets through everybody, close to the first down mark, and has it right at midfield. Mitchum getting a lot of touches, like I said, in this garbage time. 74 yards now for 15 carries.
Champ Dozier had some yards early and then was taken out. I don't think there wasn't a throw out. Nobody was thrown out in the first half, right? It came in the second half when an Ennis player was ejected.
Joseph Vera on the run on first down. Nets him 3 yards into Lion territory. Minute and a half left to go. Veracruz set to throw, throws this one, finds Deal, but he dropped it out on the short hitch on the flat. Well, if Ennis is going to play like this, good luck to Forney and Crandall as well in this zone A, as we call it.
Yeah. Royse City is probably the second best team in this district, and they're beating them 71-18.
Most points scored by Ennis this year. By 8.
Remember, with the new setup, the 4-team zones, Royse City can win their last 2 against Forney and Crandall and make the playoffs. And it'll start next week, 7:30, 7:10 pregame right here on 92.1, as we'll host Forney next Friday night. Homecoming.
The handoff to Jonah Robertson gets him to the 41.
A week from Friday, it'll be Crandall, also a home game at 7:30. Interesting thing about this game tonight is this was originally scheduled to be a home game for Royse City. So we come over here for the second year in a row, which I forgot to ask Don Drake about how, why I guess they had to make some decisions like that to make it work.
4th and 1 run. Gets them a first down on Sam Mitchum's legs. Ball's on the ground. Jonah Robertson scoops it up. 20 seconds left to go, and just an absolute blowout in every sense of the word. 71-18 is going to be the final score as this one's going to run out.
And Aiden Brocky will have those stats here in just a second.
A sloppy game, really on both sides in terms of penalties, but really from the Royse City Bulldogs. The horn goes off right at the snap. Ball falls incomplete, and that'll take us to the end of this one.
Yeah, Chanel is hoping we wouldn't hear that horn again.
71-18, the final score. We'll have...
Interesting, by the way, keep it right. Let's just keep it right here. The Ennis coaches are telling their players to go directly to the locker room, and so is Royse City, so they will not even attempt to shake hands, which tells you something about the chippiness which also means the two head coaches probably will not meet either. There's policemen in between the two teams. So they're hoping to just get them into the locker rooms quietly. Something was going on from the very start tonight. These two teams just don't like each other.
I haven't even seen the head coaches look their way.
Usually they form a line on either side and meet at midfield and shake hands, and they're not even going to attempt to do that. They're gathering as groups. Royse City in the end zone, Ennis about the 10-yard line, but they're not getting any closer than that to each other.
I'll be honest, I've never liked this this sort of, I guess, goodbye and farewell type deal where one team looks at the other team, the home team looks at the visiting team as they wave goodbye. Never quite liked that when I was in school, even at the high school or college level.
Aiden, how about some final stats? Aiden Brocky, our statistician.
Well, Scott, where would you like me to start?
Why don't we start with Ennis and start with some total yardage there? That's interesting. 481 total.
Sure thing. Yeah, Ennis had 481 total yards, 212 receiving, 269 rushing. So we've got a nice balance of both passing and running.
Which they came in with quite a balance before the game, and after the game they have the same balance.
Right, absolutely. They had 21 first downs on the night. Penalty-wise, they were penalized 9 times for a total of 95 yards, but that didn't seem to stop them with the score.
Not much slowed them down, did it?
Not at all. They only had 4 third downs all night.
That might be the most amazing stat of the night.
That is, you're probably right. They converted only once, but again, that didn't seem to matter. And that horn goes off again as I'm speaking about the stats. Davion Beasley was the leading rusher, along with the quarterback, Drake. They both rushed for 100 yards. Beasley had 3 touchdowns. Drake had 1. And then Drake had a great night through the air. He was 12 for 16, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions on the night. Skyland Simmons and Laylon Spencer both had great nights receiving. Simmons had 49 yards with 1 touchdown, and Spencer had 65 yards for 1 touchdown. And then Clayton Jenkins had 43 yards. So some really good receiving numbers, too, from their leading wide receivers. Talking about Royse City, despite the score, Royse City was able to move the ball. They had a total of 362 yards of total offense, 198 receiving, and 164 rushing. So they also had a very good balance of both running and passing. They were able to have 22 first downs on the night, but penalties just killed them all night. They had 10 penalties for 90 total yards. Turnovers also hurt them a lot. They had 1 interception, they had 1 punt blocked, and they turned the ball over twice on downs. And on the night, they had 11 third down attempts, but only managed to convert just 4. All right.
Not good.
Not good at all. The leading rusher on the night actually was Mr. Mitchum. He had 79 yards rushing, but Tyson Neighbors and Champ Dozier, Neighbors had 36, Dozier had 25, and Jonah Robertson had 37. On the night, Joe Veracruz, he started off pretty well, but he didn't do so well at the end of the night. He was 13 for 26 with 198 yards tonight. He had 2 touchdown passes and 1 interception. Like I said, he started off really well, and then it went all downhill in the second half for him. His leading receiver was Keetron Jackson, 126 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns. Tyson Neighbors had 47 yards, and Michael Alpin had 17. So really, the offense played well, but they just didn't show up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, because the defense did not play well, and Ennis scored on almost every possession. Thanks, Aiden Brocky. Let's remind you, tomorrow here on KXEZ, we'll have Texas A&M football. We're your radio home for the Aggies, and in the Metroplex, and they'll play host to Arkansas, 6:30 kickoff. Pregame at 5:30 here on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Don't forget, next Friday night, Bulldogs will go home for the next 2. They'll take on Forney next Friday. That'll be homecoming, 7:30 kickoff. We'll be on the air with our pregame at 7:10, and then they'll host Crandall a week from Friday to close out zone play. The record's now, Ennis #1 in the state, moves to 4-0, 1-0 in zone play. Royse City 2-2, 0-1 in zone play. Thanks to Ethan Brooks, our engineer, back in the studio. Thank you, Ethan. Thanks to Ethan Herrera. Any final thoughts, Ethan?
No, just again, defense needs to pick it up, and this offense keeps on rolling and see if they can do it again here in zone play next week and the week after.
Yeah, I think Royse City would be the favorite going into these next two, and all they got to do is take care of business, and they'll be in the playoffs.
They'll have a chance to try to put them up against Ennis again later on down the road, if you think about it.
So thanks to Ethan Herrera. We'll see you next week. Thanks to you for listening. Again, our final score tonight, Ennis 71, Royse City 18. From Lion Memorial Stadium in Ennis, I'm Scott Powell. Until next week, so long, everybody.